888-994-6669. Free NFL wildcard pick for Saturday. A free false favorite in college basketball that's over 2-1. It's free. It's on a recorded line. Give us a call at 8889-WIN now. That's 888-994-6669. You can also get involved with the initial bankroll program. We have 3 games this weekend. We absolutely love. 5,000 could turn into 30,000 this weekend. 1,000 into 6,000 with these 3 plays, only risking your initial wager twice. The number to call is 888-994-6669.
This program was paid for by 1220 Enterprises. The opinions and views expressed are not those of local stations. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes. Use of this information in violation of any federal, state, or local laws is prohibited. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Live from downtown.
On the mic producing.
Oh, that's right.
So that was fun.
That's right. I almost
we had Jeff Pearlman.
Almost went solo tonight. Jeff Pearlman is a 4-letter word in these parts, as I understand.
Yeah.
The great Jeff Pearlman.
That.
I mean, the man who...
First name basis?
Yes. Jeff is...
Now
if you're not familiar with Jeff Pearlman, the former Sports Illustrated writer, now hosts the very popular YouTube podcast entitled The Press Box Chronicles. He's an author, is a New York Times bestseller, but he's a guy that pissed Pasta off. So we'll get into that throughout the next couple of hours as well. And as I understand it, I'm lucky to have you here because there was an issue, whether you go here with the wife, which usually, depending on the status of the marriage, I can understand you taking door number 1, but you opted for door number 2, which sat your butt down here talking to me for the rest of the day.
It was a little bit of a flip-flop situation. So our director of sports, Lucas Alexander, reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to do a show with Dan Devone for Warriors this week? I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, wait a minute. I don't know if I can. I was like, let me check. And then I realized I had something with the wife. We're supposed to go wine tasting in Napa today with my in-laws are in town. And so originally I told them no, but then I talked to her, consulted with her, and she gave me the green light. So I was like, let me just flip-flop right back. Let me flip-flop right back. And, yeah, I'm good to go. They're actually heading out in about 30 minutes. So
okay, first of all, when Lucas says, do you want to host with Dan Devone, that's a no-brainer. You just say yes.
You're absolutely – listen,
without
I wanted
thinking
to say
twice.
You're absolutely
and then
right.
you let the pieces fall where they may. But as far as the wine tasting, so now I used to do a lot of wine tasting up in Napa Valley. Now, typically this time of the year – Usually I would go during the harvest. So we're talking about that sort of September, October, early November,
fall
where it's
is
really
like the
sort of
prime.
possible.
A lot of people think it's the summer, which is very misconstrued because they think, oh, we're going to see all these leaves and all these grapes. And it's like, and when you go to the wineries too, that's just show grapes. Yeah. They're not like the real stuff is hidden in the hills where you can't even get to it. That's the best time to go.
It's sort of an odd time of the year to go to Napa Valley, but it's a great day. And, of course, it's a good place to go 365, but this time of the year, I'm just not familiar with a lot of people who make that sojourn.
So the reason why they're going, because you're absolutely right, we actually just went a few months ago. We went to, which is where they're going today, Nickel and Nickel. It's out, I think it's Yountville, but it might be just like in that Napa County area. They're going today because it's my father-in-law's birthday this week. It was just early. I think it was on Wednesday or Thursday. Shout out John Reyes.
Are they listening as they drive up?
They might be. Probably not, but maybe. Maybe.
It depends.
Yeah, because they're not taking Dean, so maybe that's my son. They might be listening. Hopefully they are, because they can hear both of us.
Got you.
But anyway, sorry. So they're going there, and because of his birthday, because he's like, every time I come up here, I want to go wine tasting, but we're always doing something else. I'm either he helps fix our house sometimes.
Oh, wow.
He's putting up lights the last time he was here, Christmas lights. That was actually pretty fun.
So he's that guy. He's a real man.
Dude, he's our handyman.
Yeah.
I'm not handy.
No, he's not like me, that if I pop a tire on I-5, it's AAA or bust, or I'm hitchhiking. That's awesome.
I'm like a hybrid of that. I could probably do both. I sit in that middle lane between my father-in-law and Dan Devone.
No, you strike me as a guy who can take care of yourself. You putting together that roast beef and you're spatchcocking turkeys. You're real deal.
I mean, if we were stranded out in the wilderness, I'll get the fire going. I'll get the meal going. But if you say, Ken, can you tie up and, make a tree house out of the, whatever lumber or not lumber, but whatever bark you got going? No, it ain't happening.
If I'm stranded out in the wilderness, I'm dead in 10 days. Like,
10? Well, that's actually pretty good.
A week. Whenever the food supply and the water runs out, or whatever it is that I'm living on, I'm done. So let's get into the Golden State Warriors. I also want to, at some point, just revisit. It just made me think about them going to the wineries. I've done a full sort of absolute deep dive into tequila, which is my drink of choice these days, and I'm curious as to whether you enjoy that. Okay,
to me,
fantastic,
it's like,
right? We'll talk a little tequila.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll get into that.
All right. What were we going to, just give me a little tequila tease. What were we going to say?
I was going to say, I really like mezcal. Really
yeah,
like
so
it's
mezcal,
like the whiskey of tequila in my mind.
It is. That's a good sort
That's
of
how I
example.
See it. I like whiskey and scotch and all that fun stuff.
So, but the thing about mezcal, one of the reasons why I like tequila is because it's specific to a certain region, which is Jalisco in Mexico. So it's not considered tequila unless it's made in Jalisco. Very similar to champagne, very similar to bourbon.
To scotch.
Bourbon is a region in Kentucky. If you make it anywhere else, it ain't bourbon.
It ain't bourbon.
So I can appreciate it on that level.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get into the Golden State Warriors, and we'll get back to our tequilas. Why not take some shots? Because the Warriors, 8 of 11, a team that has now averaged 120 points over the last 11 games. Is this just, hey, listen, the cards have flipped and or the schedule is flipped and they're taking full advantage, or are you buying in that this is a new and improved team that now has an identity?
I think it's a little bit of both, because now we're starting to see, like you just said, the schedule is finally starting to turn in their favor. I still think they have issues beating the big boys, because clearly, what was it, a couple of last week or whatever, they got torched by the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, but they really didn't play anybody.
Right, they didn't play any. That's true, but they're still struggling when it comes to certain teams. Let's just say that. I think it's the right time, and it's also the right time for how their rotation. Like we talked about this 2 weeks ago, their rotation we weren't sure about the consistency. Right, we kept saying, well, who do you put here? Who do you put here? By the way, you were right. DeAnthony Melton, man, just prime. He's doing really well, but I actually like him in the second unit with Jimmy Butler. But again, they figured out, listen, this is who we want starting the game. You got Steph Curry, you got Moses Moody, you got Quinton Post, Draymond Green, and who am I missing?
Will Richard.
I'm saying in the starting rotation.
Oh, in the starting rotation. So it's Curry, it's Moody, it's Post, it's Butler, and it's Draymond.
I got you. It is Butler.
Yeah.
But then they take, once Curry comes off, Butler kind of runs that second unit, and they're attacking.
Yeah.
Like last night, I was more than impressed of how they were attacking the basket. I mean, they had 60 points in the paint? That's the most they've had since, I think it was against the Magic. They had just a basket over that. Like, you want to start doing that, especially when shots aren't falling on the outside perimeter. Yeah. So, to your answer, I think that this is the right place, right time for them. And again, Kerr, I feel like has found the rotation he wants.
I would agree with that. A game last night that was pretty much nip and tuck, and I think it's sort of we've entered the dog days, if you will, of the NBA season, usually right about now before the All-Star break. It's just like, how am I going to get through this? You know, it becomes a little bit taxing, the scheduling, getting up for games, and I think everybody's sort of feeling it, so things get a little weird in the NBA. Motivation's a little bit more difficult to find.
Back-to-backs.
Exactly, and so you hit that All-Star break, you get rejuvenated, you recharge the batteries, and then, of course, you know, you go with your hair on fire until maybe you hit that wall towards the end of the season, and you have to deal with the dog days once again. So with that being said, not to serve as an excuse, but they were going back and forth with Sacramento, and then to your point, late in that third quarter, they handed over the bench. That bench goes on a 13-0 run and say goodnight.
DeAnthony Melton. Yeah. Let's go. 12 points in less than 4 minutes?
I think it's DeAnthony Melton and it's Al Horford. And this is sort of, I guess, what they envisioned when they got these two guys or brought Melton back and went out and got Al Horford. This is sort of what they had in mind.
And, you know, it's credit to Steve Kerr, because what did Steve Kerr say? He goes, let's get these guys going, like early, before, like when things weren't really looking great. You know, Draymond was getting kicked out of games. It wasn't Kerr getting kicked out of games yet, and we can get into that. But like he said, look, let me get my guys that we brought back. I mean, because they brought back Melton, they signed Horford. Now we're starting to see the fruits of the labor kind of come into the light a little bit because it's working. These guys are like, and they're moving the ball really well. The ball movement to me is like something that is really to behold. But yeah, the Anthony Melton, and again, it's all of them kind of being in sync. That's what we're starting to see now. They're in sync.
And Al Horford is a guy that I put off to the pumpkin patch on more than one occasion. I just felt he was too old. It was over. It was in the rearview mirror. I wanted to be proven wrong, and I think I have been to a certain degree. We'll have to sort of wait and see whether this is sustainable, but he is being that guy.
Is he Cinderella now?
Well, he's not there yet, but what he's doing is that he's stretching. That's what they want him to do. Yeah. Hit that three enough so that you can stretch the floor, keep the lanes open, but still be a big and rim protect on the other end, and that's what he's doing. He's blocking shots. He's giving you rebounds. He's a big, but he's also an effective big playing on the exterior. Quinton Post, for whatever reason, still is a bit of a head scratch to me. I get it, is that he's a stretch as well, but don't you have to, doesn't your three have to go in just once in a while in order for you to be considered a stretch five?
Yeah, well, it's weird because, I don't want to say he's consistently inconsistent because we've seen him when he's on. And it's weird, too, because last night, the game was more than over. They're in the fourth quarter. There's 3 minutes left. They're up by 100, and they got 4 offensive boards, and they just keep feeding Post. Here you go. We're just gonna do shoot around for Quinton Post. Even Pods, who had a great night last night, he had an open opportunity. He was just feeding Post, and Post was still clanging him off the rim. For him to be that stretch guy, yeah, he's got to get a little more consistent. Although I'm liking what I'm seeing from him, at least in this last 2-week stretch. Defensively, I think he's gotten better. I think he had either 1 or 2 blocks last night. Or, no, actually he had 3. Curry had 2 blocks, which is kind of unprecedented. I would like to see more, like you said, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far within the last 2 to 3 weeks.
There's just something, and I know he's gotten better defensively, not only over the last couple of weeks, but I would say he's made a commitment to that during the offseason, and you've seen it throughout the entire year. But that's my starting center. Just how far am I going to go? I mean,
what are you looking for then? What do you want in your starting center?
In a perfect scenario, on a good team, maybe Quinton Post is more of a role player. He's somebody that's going to come in as my 7th or 8th guy. And he's going to stretch. He's going to give me some minutes. He's going to use up his 5 fouls. He's going to rim protect a little bit. But to be my starting center and to get as many minutes as he does, I think it's back to the fact that the Warriors do not have that talented big, or those big wings that they can rely on, and therefore you have to throw somebody like that of Quinton Post into a position where he gets more minutes than I think are warranted.
And Draymond Green said, he goes, I'm sick and tired of playing the 5. He goes, I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to get beat up. I mean, what was it? He's just honest, but like he was getting beat up down low. I think he actually took a big hit off of, was it Giannis a few days ago? I don't know. He just got pummeled to the ground, and they got called a blocking foul on him. But yeah, he doesn't want to be the 5 anymore, and they've always tried to make him a 5, and he's like, no, I'm sitting here. But yeah, you're kind of stuck with Quinton Post. I understand what you're saying. On any good team, like, better advanced team than the Warriors are right now, like he comes off the bench as like the backup center. But
and I don't mean to diminish what it is that he's been able to do. I just think he's very limited defensively, and I'm also a huge TJD fan. And I don't understand. I get it. It's 2 different styles of play. He's not going to stretch when you have TJD in there. But what TJD does do is he gives you those young, fresh legs. And unlike that of Quinton Post, he's more springy and active around the rim and blocking shots and getting out and filling on a break and alley-oop, dunker spot, pick and roll guy. I just love his energy. I like his energy. I like Will Richards' energy. I like when DeAnthony Melton's on the floor. Then you suddenly look long, lean, and athletic, which are 3 things that team clearly is lacking. I just would like to see a lot more TJD, but the last time he got run, I said this, Steve Kerr mentioned as much in his post-game comments where he said, yeah, TJD's playing well for now. He always qualified him like, oh, God, the minute
he's waiting for the other shoe to drop?
Yeah, it's like he has a bad minute or 2.
You don't want that? You don't really want to say that about your players?
But there seems to be all of this sort of leash that he gives, an extended leash to that of Quinton Post. Like Quinton Post can make his mistakes, he can miss his threes, but I'm investing in him as opposed to TJD. Now, maybe it's just beyond my sort of basketball IQ, and I will always defer to Steve Kerr, but I would love someone to sit me down and explain as to why Quinton Post as opposed to TJD.
Maybe because he can space the floor a little bit better.
I get that. I get that. But when you're not hitting threes, are you really spacing anything?
And I think it has to do with you just want to have guys on a consistent basis. Maybe he is getting more run. It's also like, why is Pods playing? Like, why does Pods get more minutes than certain other guys like Moody's?
Well, Pods has been good over the last
month. What I'm saying is the consensus of or certain Warrior fans would be like, well, why is Pods getting all this time and Kuminga doesn't get any time, or Moody doesn't get enough time, or Richard maybe doesn't get enough time? I think they're trying to give Post a little bit more consistency and see what you got. How much time are you willing to give him? Because I feel like you're being a little unfair in terms of like how long he's gonna, how many games you have in order to get like where you've said, oh, I've seen enough. He shouldn't be playing all these minutes or even starting. I feel like you got to give him a little bit more than just the last couple of weeks or so.
So we're talking about, I'm ragging on Quinton Post, and we should, because we do so many of these shows where the team is struggling, the team's in the midst of a losing streak, or the team is playing below their, quote-unquote, the expectation levels. And here they are, winners of 8 of their last 11, in the midst of an 8-game homestand. They got a favorable schedule. They're 3 games over 500 for the first time this year. So we need to rejoice a little bit here. We need the sun's out, for crying out loud. Ken, what the hell are we doing?
I mean,
ragging on this team.
I don't think we're ragging on them. I just think that we're kind of being more realistic. Because
are we being cautiously optimistic? Is that what's going on here?
You have to, especially, again, who have they been playing? What is the nature of like the talent that they've been coming up against? I mean, all right, you beat Brooklyn, you beat Charlotte, you beat Utah. You lost a close one to LA. That's a game they should have won, honestly, even though they were losing the entire game. LA had 20 turnovers to 7 turnovers for Golden State. To me, that never should happen, where a team has 13 more turnovers and you lose. A lot of things didn't go their way there. They beat Milwaukee. They're a team that's, underachieving largely. So, again, their schedule, it hasn't really shown, okay, these guys can compete for, against the bigger teams. That's what it shows to me.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, because whether they get more confident And the more that they have this sort of defined role, it's a defined role, right? Like, I think everybody sort of knows the minutes that they're going to get. Now they've settled on a starting line, but they're still playing like 13 dudes. And if he could, he'd play 16.
And that's the weird thing, too, because you talked about TJD. I think him and Post, a couple of games ago, they split the time. It was like 10 minutes, 12 minutes for each of them. And then I think TJD last night played only like 4 minutes. But they were things were working. I think when things are actually working, Kerr doesn't have I don't have to go to my deep into my bench. Like, they are going 13 guys, but when things are starting, like when they're moving the ball well, when they're attacking the basket, when they're not turning the ball over, which was the biggest, issue for, since the start of the season. I think Kerr's like, all right, now I can let, even though Post may be struggling, I can let him go and kind of like live and die out there. Yeah, and see what you get.
I want to get into the turnovers, and we'll do that coming up in just a bit. But just to stay on this Warrior team that is now playing so much better right now. Yes, they are taking full advantage of a weak schedule, and hey, rightfully so. After what the NBA did to them in the first month of the campaign, I mean, that condensed schedule, everything was on the road, all those tough teams, no days off. I mean, they had this coming their way. I think the bigger question now becomes the trade deadline. Like, as you continue to win and as you stack victories, that's going to alter sort of the narrative that is the Warriors from where it was, say, a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Whereas, Steve Kerr was even talking about fading dynasties. And now suddenly you're getting rejuvenated. Now whether this is realistic or not, we can discuss, but there's going to be thoughts of let's go out and get somebody because this is a good basketball team and let's go win this damn thing, or let's make a deep run into the playoffs. And if that's the case, then what's next for the Golden State Warriors when it comes to the trade deadline?
Yeah, I don't think there's any reasoning why you shouldn't go get somebody. Like, if they don't, because we didn't think they were going to get anybody last year, right?
Well, if you were to listen to Dunleavy about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, he was asked that very question. Now, how much you can believe from a GM, right? A lot of it is political talk. So he was downplaying all of it and says, I don't think we're going to we're not going to do what it is that we did last year. There's no Jimmy Butler out there, and we're not necessarily in the market for somebody like that. What we need to do is rely on who we have in-house and address the turnovers, which they have. But in doing so, they've now been able to compile wins. You can't tell me that Dunleavy now isn't burning the phone lines going, all right, let's go get a guy because now we can seriously do some damage.
Well, on the contrary, Kerr said kind of the opposite, right? He was like, when they asked him about what's going on with Kuminga, and he's like, oh, well, he kind of circled around it, but he was like, I don't have to, I think we're set where we are, but I'm also under the impression that Dunleavy may go make a move if it improves our roster. So I think they're kind of pulling and tugging and they're kind of being, ambiguous? They're being a little ambiguous. I think if they find the right match, again, who do you get? I don't know, but I think they should get at least someone who can continue to space the floor, has to play defense, and has to be able to score. You know who I liked yesterday, even though he's not really a great defender? I like DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, he looked good to me, man.
Well, he had a huge.
I might be crazy saying that, but that top of the key shot, that mid range, that's a lost art. He can't play defense. Maybe you kind of deal with that the way you've been dealing with Post, but I think somebody like him, it might be too, because you don't want to get old. The last thing Warrior fans want to see is them get older, and getting him would be kind of counterproductive. But I think a player like that would work.
Well, his name, ironically enough, surfaces, and maybe the same caller will call in this afternoon, but there's a lot of DeMar DeRozan talk out there. And listen, I'm not a DeMar DeRozan guy at this juncture of his career. I'm with you, partially with you, that, listen, the last thing this team needs is another guy who's over the age of 35. DeRozan to me is yes, you need some help offensively, but I need more of a younger two-way player. But that might not be what it is you're saying. There could be a lot of validity to, and there could be a scenario where DeRozan is with the Warriors. And the reason why I say that, and again, if you're to believe what's out there when it comes to trades and Jonathan Kuminga, who will get moved at the deadline, the only team that's interested is Sacramento.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about, all right, Sacramento, what the hell are you going to give us? And that bar has been lowered because of the inactivity of one Jonathan Kuminga. They are not, apparently, draft picks are no longer on the table. So if we're talking about player swaps, maybe DeRozan gets thrown into that. But if you're to believe all reports right now, it's Sacramento or bust, much like that of Trae Young. People are like, well, what's he doing in Washington? Well, Washington was the only people that were knocking on the door.
And a lot of people are questioning it, but it makes sense. It kind of makes sense, especially for McCollum, who I like. They needed to do a salary dump. It worked for both sides. And if that's all you have, that's all you have. Not saying you should do it because it's all you have. Not saying the Warriors should do it because it's all they have. But at the same time, you're looking, there's an expectation there. And if you don't get off of Jonathan Kuminga, then we really got to be like, we got to question, okay, well, what's the motive now? What are you trying to do now? Because he didn't play last night. He hasn't played, in the last, I don't know how many games. Like, I don't even look anymore. It's just DNP. He could have played last night too.
Oh.
And I really didn't want to get into it like this early in the game.
We'll do it. We have to.
We have to, right, exactly. Like, everybody got 4 minutes or more except for him. So if that's what we're saying, and if that's the only option, maybe that's where you go. I think the best part about it is that I think anybody that you would get on that Kings roster, regardless of age, regardless of talent level, if they're playing within that Steph Curry system, I think it could work.
Well, it depends on who the player is.
Because it's not like they're just going to a random team.
Yeah.
They're coming to Golden State where they've obviously proven they can do a lot with less. And I think with Steph Curry, again with Draymond Green, and now you got Jimmy Butler, who's running, a second unit, I think it could work no matter who you were to be able to bring in.
I'm with you. I think that Atlanta, that was a salary dump. They want to unload that $46 million ball and chain that was Trae Young, right? And now they're centered and they're actually focused around Jalen Johnson and a younger team that's more two-way players that are playing defense. The one thing about Trae Young, and I don't hate on Trae Young as much as a lot of people, but he is a liability defensively. I mean, I don't know what the hell Washington's thinking. Someone needs to explain that to me. I mean, I thought that was a rebuild.
I was going to say, who isn't a liability that's like a high offensive player? I mean, everyone...
Well, Giannis is a two-way player. There's players.
No. I'm talking about. Well, I'm thinking more terms of guards. Like, everyone gets on Luka Doncic. Everyone gets on James Harden. As long as they're producing offensively, no one gives a rip.
Well, if you can compensate on that end with somebody else, like if you're a good defensive team and you got one bad defender, that makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just getting Trae Young, I just because he's not that great defensively, that wouldn't mean much as long as the rest of the team is doing well defensively.
But I guess my point is, it can't be a salary dump when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga. Maybe you could do that with Trae Young. It cannot be a salary dump when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga. I'll explain. I'll also clean up the text line. Somebody was going at me about TJD can't shoot. I know he can't shoot, and I'm not saying playing him with Draymond Green.
How many centers can?
Yeah, well, I'm not saying play him with Draymond or play him with non-shooters, but there are opportunities for him to get on the floor when he's the one guy who cannot shoot, but pull rebounds, run the floor, and be that big. We'll do that. We'll talk TJD. We'll get into Jonathan Kuminga as the trade deadline approaches. The Golden State Warriors continue to win. Ken Luttrell, Dan Avone. Yes, he is not in wine country. Hopefully the fam is listening as you're about. What if you're halfway to Napa? Where do you think they are?
If you're well, they actually just left now, so they're just getting in.
Just getting on the freeway.
So it takes about an hour.
All right. Well, for the next hour, dial in. And the rest of you know what to do. Well, 888-957-9570. I'm just going to continue this tease until glasses pop off. We'll be back on 95.7 The Game after this.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Reliable Legal Marketing.
Attention California residents. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, including chronic lymphocytic leukemia, a common subtype, is one of the most common cancers in the United States. If you or loved one was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or chronic lymphocytic leukemia and were exposed to Roundup weed killer, you could be entitled to cash compensation. Bayer, the owner of Roundup, has agreed to pay more than $10 billion to cancer victims linked to the weed killer. Call our Weed Killer Cancer Hotline now to see if you're entitled to cash compensation. If you are someone someone you love has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or chronic lymphocytic leukemia and were exposed to Roundup, call now. Our attorneys have the experience and specialize in fighting for everyday people to get the compensation you deserve. If you or a loved one was diagnosed, even if a loved one has passed away, call 800-341-4933 now. But hurry, time is limited. Call 800-341-4933. 800-341-4933.
Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Will Trial Law, LLC, 1001 Bannock Street, Denver, Colorado, 80204.
Elevate your kitchen at the Mila Innovation Center at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill. Out of your dreams and into your kitchen. Select the qualifying built-in kitchen appliance package that is right for you. With unrivaled technology and luxury-grade quality, when you bring home a Mila, you're bringing home true innovation. Now, for a limited time, save up to 10% with the purchase of a qualifying Mila kitchen package. Visit the Mila Innovation Center at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill or at friedmansappliance.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Reliable Legal Marketing.
Attention California residents. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, including chronic lymphocytic leukemia, a common subtype, is one of the most common cancers in the United States. If you or a loved one was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or chronic lymphocytic leukemia and were exposed to Roundup weed killer, you could be entitled to cash compensation. Bayer, the owner of Roundup, has agreed to pay more than $10 billion to cancer victims linked to the weed killer. Call our Weed Killer Cancer Hotline now to see if you're entitled to cash compensation. If you or someone you love has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or chronic lymphocytic leukemia and were exposed to Roundup, call now. Our attorneys have the experience and specialize in fighting for everyday people to get the compensation you deserve. If you or a loved one was diagnosed, even if a loved one has passed away, call 800-341-4933 now. But hurry, time is limited. Call 800-341-4933. 800-341-4933.
Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Will Trial Law, LLC, 1001 Bannock Street, Denver, Colorado, 80204.
Hey, this is Willard and Dibs from 95.7 The Game with great news from Safeway. You can earn Safeway rewards with each purchase you make. Then use your rewards for discounts on groceries or up to 20 cents off per gallon in gas rewards at participating Chevron or Texaco stations and up to $1 off per gallon at participating Safeway fuel stations.
Not a member? Register for an account with your phone number at checkout and start earning rewards today. I personally love shopping at Safeway and saving up to 20% on my purchases for you with personalized deals, meal plans that list the ingredients needed to make shopping easy, and pet perks. There's something for everyone, including a free item every month from some of my favorite brands.
If you sign up today, you can get $5 off your first purchase of $25. Restrictions and exclusions apply. Learn more at Safeway.com/4U. That's Safeway.com/FORU, as in the letter U. We will see you at Safeway soon. Hey, it's Willard for Underdog Fantasy. Football season is rolling toward the end. Christian McCaffrey is rolling towards some major stats. Let's get in on this, root for it, maybe make some money too. With Underdog Unwrapped, you're going to unwrap a bunch of promos going on right now, boosts, gimme picks, even some surprises sprinkled in. You should check it out because you can make picks and win money right now in California. Playing on Underdog is easy. You pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats, rushing yards, receiving yards with CMC. You get the idea. So play with me, download the Underdog app, and use my promo code Willard to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, the promo code is Willard. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 or over and present in California. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or go online at ncpgambling.org.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
So somber there.
Is that Evan Giddings? Yeah, no. He was a little...
like in the beginning, and then all of a sudden his voice started getting really high, and then that was good. He dunked yesterday. Did you see that? Ran down the lane late in the game and just... Actually, it was two hands.
He's got to get rid of the black tennies, man. I don't know why he's rocking... Did he have the black tennis shoes on last night?
Of course he did.
Did you see Curry's tennis shoes yesterday?
Or were they?
Or first of all, we shouldn't be saying tennis shoes. They're basketball shoes. He was. I think they were Jimmy Butler's shoe because they were wearing the same shoes and they were Brazilian colors. It was green and yellow, and they were talking about it on the broadcast with who was it? Bob Fitz and Kalena, and they were like, "Yeah, he's because Butler's a big fan of Neymar.
Oh,
he's a big Neymar. Yeah, he's a big Neymar guy. So I think because Curry's been bouncing around with the shoe game ever since he left Under Armour. And he's still kind of like, he hasn't made a decision of where he's going to go.
That's right.
So he's just been wearing a bunch of different, like he wore the Kobe's, I think like last month or something like that. But anyway, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, he was rocking Devin Booker's shoe when they played the Suns. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of that. What a free agent to be. How many people would like to have him ink his name on a contract? I'm surprised it's taken so long for Nike to.
I was just going to say, how is Nike not, although for him to go to Under Armour first over everybody, they must have really impressed. So maybe the bidding is wide open for him.
You mentioned Neymar. You know, the World Cup's coming to the United States next summer.
I'll be there.
Where are you going? Which venue?
I'm going to Levi's. Yeah. Right. And we're going to the, me and my wife, we're going to the, it'll be an elimination round of 32.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it might be, if they win the group, it might be USA.
So if Luke calls you up and says, "Hey, Danivone wants you to do the show with him," I mean, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to.
Well, actually, I don't even know what date it is.
So obviously you don't know who's playing, or so you're just. But you know the round.
I know it'll be the group that the US is in. I think that's Group A, if I'm mistaken, or Group A or Group D. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, if the US wins their group, it'll be the winner of that group versus the second what do you call it? Second place in another group. I don't even know what that one is.
You talk about Brazil. I strongly advise and suggest everybody, if they have an opportunity. Now it's difficult. Not everybody is as privileged as you to go see them in public or in person rather. But if you can go see Brazil play a soccer game with Brazilian people, it's an experience unlike anything else. I don't care how many football, baseball, basketball games you've been to.
So I had a buddy of mine who went out there to like Rio and went to a soccer match out there. I don't know if it was Brazil, but
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like a parade.
Yeah, it's in Brazil.
There. Yeah. It's like you don't drive there. You walk. Like I think that's all of South America.
Yeah.
Like Argentina is another big one. You walk to the stadium. You don't drive from the stadium, and I actually think that's great because you're getting exercise. You can drink a little bit. You're burning calories as while exactly. So I think it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and there's something in the anticipation as you walk to a stadium as opposed to pulling up to the parking lot and paying $150 to park your rig. But I'm just saying, if you go see Brazil play, they stand, or any match in Brazil, no one sits. It's like an Army-Navy football game. They're playing music, they sing, they drink, and they are perpetual noise, and it's absolute bedlam for the entire match.
See, I love that.
Yeah.
But do they still use those stupid things, those like horn, you know what I'm talking about? Remember, like, what was it? Was it a couple of World Cups ago, the one in Africa, where they use that long
I know
trumpet?
what you're talking about. Yeah, that I don't know. Yeah, it gets a little annoying.
Drove me nuts at one point.
All right, let's get it back to the United States and back to the NBA and talk a little hoops. We're opening up the phone lines at 888-957-9570. That's 888-957-9570 for pasta. We were doing a little TJD. I'm a TJD guy, but apparently some out there believe that he's a little limited, doesn't have good hands. What say you, Deborah, hanging out in San Leandro? She joins the show. Hey, Deborah.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I should say sunny Saturday morning. Let's see. TJD and Post. I like them both. And this is what I see the difference is, and I understand why Post is getting more playing time. But like you said, TJD is definitely the better athlete. He's a rim runner. He can get up. He can block shots. What I've seen in Post, and I'm very impressed with him, he is really learning how to play great position defense. And that's important to be able to understand how to play great position defense. And I see he's learned a lot from Draymond as far as playing that position. This year, he's head and shoulders above where he was last year. And so although he may not block a lot of shots, he actually changes quite a few shots and presents a problem for them going in the inside. So it does a couple of things, right? Like you said, Draymond is old. He's tired of playing center. People don't realize Draymond's shorter than Clay, and he's been playing center, the best center for us since Bogut. He's really been the most effective center we've had since Bogut, and he's old and tired. So Post allows Draymond not to have to play center starting off. He can take some of the heat. Then it also stretches Horford's minutes, because we really need Horford when he starts producing as he's been these last few games. It allows Horford to come in and play in minutes when he would need to be most effective, right? So it stretches that. But I would like to, and TJD can't stretch the floor, but I think he's a great athlete. Sometimes I think he gets a little soft in there. I would like them to see them split the minutes a little bit more with those two guys. So that's my take on TJD and Post, and we keep them both, and I think we have a good mix.
Great observation, Deborah. Nice job.
Yeah,
Thanks
like
for joining us. Call back in anytime, 888-957-9570. Well, I would say this, that yes, Quinton Post has improved, and everything she said is spot on. He's anticipating, he understands angles, but he's still not an athlete, and he still can't move laterally. And if I'm somebody who has any sort of talent and I see him on a switch, I'm like, come out here, big boy. I got something for you.
I was just going to say, just to piggyback back off that, like, I think that's the one thing he struggles with is you bring him out into that backcourt and he's like a giraffe on skates. He's going to get dominated. I think he has to stay low, but if you're smart enough, you'll bring him out there and force Draymond to kind of stay like towards the paint area, like underneath the basket, and kind of expose him out there. I'm okay with that, though. As long as he's shooting well. I mean, I'm looking at his numbers from 3-point. He's 34%, not the greatest, but if he's just as consistent as we want him to be, I'm okay with him, getting a little exposed out there outside the perimeter. I think he's gotten better in the paint. His biggest issue is kind of being a little bit more aggressive with these bigger guys. Like when you're facing up, I mean, it's kind of hard because if you're facing up against Nikola Jokic, who he doesn't have to worry about right now, but you're facing up against guys like that, that's where guys can put real moves on you down low, and I don't know if he's built for that yet.
On the Boxer and Gerson text line, I'm with this caller. I love the energy that TJD brings to every game. Love his rim protection, love him running the floor, love him as a lob. Right on, man. Right on. We're seeing the game through the same lens. I'm just telling you what it is that I see, and I see a dude who's got energy. Here's something to keep an eye on when TJD's on the floor. How many times do you see him get out on the break? Every single time he's filling a lane. He may not touch the ball, but he's out there running. He loves to get out and run the break. And that's something that the Warriors, you don't see Curry or Draymond and Butler do it as frequently, just simply because they load manage throughout the course of a game. But young dudes who just want to go rim to rim the full 94 feet, like TJD, that energy is lacking. Look, you could debate whether Quinton Post should get more minutes or TJD. I'm just saying, why does he go in and out of the doghouse? Like, why is it that when I see him play, I'm like, yeah, lob threat, pick and roll, something you don't have. I like his activity around the rim. I'm not saying that he should start or that I recognize that he's limited because he can't stretch a floor, but I do see him with a significant role on this team. But why the DNP? Why, okay, just sit at the end of the bench and we'll call you in a week or 10 days. I guess, and again, I defer to Steve Kerr when it comes to these sort of things. I'm just saying as a fan, it frustrates the hell out of me. Let's go to our man. Austin's hanging out in San Jose. Wants to talk about the Warriors, and yeah, we're getting our heads in the cloud when it comes to the Warriors right now. What's going on, Austin?
Hey, guys. Good morning. Great show as always. Listen, it's been a good run last couple games. I think we need to pause a little bit about getting too excited about wins over the Bucks and Sacramento, although, they have a little bit of a run. I think that, I look at the couple nights ago, they went almost 8 minutes without scoring a field goal. So I think that's real. We can't ignore that, even though everybody says that the game got stolen. Well, it shouldn't even gotten to that point where they were lucky to even be 2 points in a game after missing that many shots. So you can look at it that way. I think really, guys, I think it's encouraging that we got so many people playing better. And the really question is matter of context. What can we do now that guys are playing better? And maybe does the league value these guys more so that we can actually package them for somebody can come in and be an impact player? I don't think we have the impact player that is going to make us be able to beat one of the top 4 teams in a playoff run. So it's not about beating Sacramento and Milwaukee and these guys. It's about, can you beat OKC? Can you beat Houston? Can you beat San Antonio in a 7-game series? And that's where we have to really think about it in terms of that in the future. We can't run with, what happened over the last week. That's not the way you should. I hope Dunleavy's not looking at that. I hope he's already decided, hey, we either have a team that can make a run that we keep saying to get Steph Curry his 5th, or do we have a team that just can show up and maybe make a decent run in the playoff? I think that's where we have to be. For me, I'd like to see them still do a trade, guys. I think we need an impact wing. I don't know who that person is. Well, can we use the guys that are playing better? And I don't care which young guys you package, frankly. I think we could probably send 4 or 5 of them to another team and bring in other guys and probably get to the same point. Right now, we're still a play-in team. We're still a seed, right? So all this winning is great, but we haven't really moved very much in terms of the standings. So I just kind of get your thoughts around, can we do a trade out there, given everybody's playing better? We shouldn't be talking about keeping everything the same. So we should be talking about what can we do now to go to the next level, guys. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Hey, Austin, so you don't think that the way the role players are kind of, running things right now, this bench mob as it stands, you don't think they're doing enough to make the Warriors kind of threaten these better teams?
I think they do enough on some nights. I think 1 out of 3 nights, maybe 33% of the time, yeah. But then what happens the other 2/3? And the other thing is you're also saying that Steph Curry's got to keep playing at a high level every night. If that doesn't happen, and we know it's not going to happen every night, then who is the person who's going to come in and make an impact? You guys said DeMar DeRozan. He's old, but the one thing about DeMar DeRozan is that the dude's a bucket getter. I mean, I think that's what the Warriors like.
Totally
a guy
with
can go get a bucket, as KD used to say. Sometimes you forget all this fancy stuff that Kerr wants to run. Somebody needs to go get a bucket, and that's the person or player I think we need, guys. I'll keep listening. Thanks.
And I think Austin's right too, because you can sacrifice a little defense for bucket getting. And I think everyone's like, yeah, DeMar DeRozan. I see you in the YouTube chat. I see you. I know what you're saying. He's 36. I know that. That's not my point. My point is he can get you buckets. And if he can get you buckets, because what are the Warriors doing right now? They're playing great defense, and they're struggling on offense, up until these last 11 games. Because 120 points, that's fantastic. How many teams that you beat, how many of them are playoff teams, right? That's the issue. So I think regardless of it, because what is the whole scope of what we're trying to do here? We're trying to get Steph Curry another ring. He's got 2 to 3 years left, right? Right here. Does it matter if it's DeMar DeRozan? You can ask people. Does it matter to you if DeMar DeRozan's 36 or any player's 36, as long as they can help the offense, which has been struggling against these better teams? To Austin's point.
Yeah, if you look at it through that window, through the lens of the ceiling is 2 years or a year and a half. I'm not investing in DeMar DeRozan for the next 5 to 8 years. Then yeah, it makes sense.
Because they're doing it with Jimmy too.
To a certain degree, I would say this when it comes to the Warriors, and to sort of answer Austin's question. I don't know that this team, I don't think there's a player out there that's going to put them in the conversation to beat OKC or San Antonio or even Houston for that matter, or anybody else that's in Denver when the Joker's back, whether they can hang or beat one of those teams in a 7-game series. I don't want to be that guy. I just don't believe it. I've proven wrong before. I hope I'm proven wrong again. But I think this just gets back to, can you get into the playoffs? And again, believe it or not, if Steph was to have a beer with us and he's like, hey, man, this is off the record, like, And Kerr has said as much. Where our days of winning championships in the rearview mirror, just let me get on that stage for a little while. Let me play in these quote-unquote meaningful games. Let me play on national TV with everybody watching so I can shimmy, go for 40. I love that, man. Yeah. I love that. And I know that once I hang it up or once we're bad, it's gone for forever. So give me a few more of those. I don't need to win the title. Just let me play in some of them games like I did last year in a Game 7 against Houston. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play against Minnesota, but that's what it is that I want to do. Because I don't think realistically, if you're Dunleavy or if you're anybody in a managerial position with the Golden State Warriors, you're thinking of it's title or bust.
Yeah.
I think that train has left the depot.
I agree. I mean, and it's also, you don't want to go out like the way, when Jordan was done, he was on another team. He was cooked. There was no chance of him winning a championship. Kobe Bryant was the same way. He had the 60-point game, which was fantastic. You love to see that. But they didn't make the playoffs his last 2 years. And he was part of, getting injured didn't help him either. But I get it. I mean, LeBron kind of lives in that world. LeBron doesn't have to win any more championships. He's LeBron James. He could do whatever. Although he's actually been playing really good basketball his last 4 or 5 games. Been averaging over like 28 points. And I'm sure Warrior fans, I guess, do you hate it? I'm more worried about, Luka Doncic, although that team is basically like the Warriors. They can't seem to beat anybody good.
Lost to Milwaukee last night.
Yeah, and it's weird because their record is like just as good as like some of these, or better than these Eastern Conference. Like the Knicks, I think, they're like the same record, 24-14, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
one's a 2 seed, one's a 4 seed.
You're right. And they're thriving off that. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if that's the way you want to look at it, although I don't know if Curry wants to do that. I think Curry still wants to compete, at least because do you think that before he got hurt, they had a legit shot at beating Minnesota? At least in my mind,
yeah,
I think
I'm the one
did.
guy who probably would push back on that a little bit.
I mean, that first game, winning by double digits.
I'll surprise you that I'm the one guy. And here's the reason why. And I hear so many people it's almost like a tagline. And you hear it at the national level, you hear it at the local level. Hey, listen, if Steph Curry was healthy, you're beating Minnesota, or at least, you're giving Minnesota a series. There's a reason why he got hurt. And that is because they had to expend so much energy going back to the regular season of winning all those games and playing playoff-type basketball for the last month of the season, if you recall, because they had to win every single game.
It was that hamstring injury, right? That's what it did him in, which kind of doesn't look great. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Good point.
I'm saying that was because he kind of came up. I don't want to say he came up gingerly. I'm speculating, but there was a moment where, although all year I've kind of noticed it, him going up and down the court, he's just like, all right, let me put it on for you a little bit, and then once I get my bucket or don't get it, regardless, I'm gonna kind of jog back to the other side and find my guy and do what I can do. Yeah,
but he spent so much energy in the latter part of the season. And then they go 7 games against Houston. And you're relying so much on Steph Curry. And sure enough, he blows a tire and is not available against Minnesota. Even if he was healthy for Minnesota, I just don't know if he has enough left in the tank. Jimmy Butler ran out of gas. Draymond Green ran out of gas. And that's the point that I'm trying, the overall sort of 800-pound gorilla that's in the room, is that when you're an old basketball team, it's not as easy as, hey, if Steph was healthy, we're beating Minnesota. No, Steph, the wheels were beginning to come off in the latter part of that Houston series because he had extended himself for so long, having to get to the playoffs and playing all this meaningful basketball the last 3 weeks of the season. And all that did was get you into a play-in game. He had played so much hoops, and now the playoffs, the way they're structured, you do not get those days off unless you're going in between series. It's every other day aside from that of travel days.
And I think that's the give and take from it, though, because what the Warriors have been saying, and they've been saying it for the last couple of years, especially this year, we play in a Steph Curry system, right? So you're hitching your wagon to a guy who's running out of gas. So when he goes down, you have Jimmy Butler, who's the next man up in terms of leadership, and he ran out of gas in that Minnesota series. So to your point, you're absolutely right. The problem is you kind of have to pivot a little bit. And what they're doing with Jonathan Kuminga, we don't know, but he should be the guy then.
Well, he was in that Minnesota series.
Agreed. And they're still losing, so it's like you You can't have it both ways if you're a Warrior fan. And I think that's kind of the rub. You really can't have it both ways.
We have to sort of, I know that Jonathan Kuminga talk, people they're tired of it, but I don't know until he's traded how you get away from it, because this is really coming down to the trade deadline. And Dunleavy, he can talk all he wants about we want to stay in-house and it's about the turnovers, but you've got to trade Jonathan Kuminga. But here's the rub. If I'm Dunleavy, I know everybody thinks it's a foregone conclusion. He's out the door. If I'm not getting what it is that I deem as market value, and obviously that bar has been lower because he's not playing, but if I don't get what I consider equitable value, he's coming back, man. Believe it or not, as ugly and as ridiculous as that might sound, I'll do this over the summer when I don't have a gun to my head and it's not time sensitive with a trade deadline, and I can package something together and move him over the summer, as opposed to having to. The one thing you can't do is just get rid of him like that of Trae Young, right? This is not unloading a salary, for crying out loud. It was your number 7 pick just a couple of years ago. You need to get something in return for a guy who's just 22 years of age.
Yeah, I think the worst part will be once he goes to whatever team he goes to and he just absolutely balls out, especially if he goes to a good team. I mean, if he goes to Sacramento, I don't think fans are going to be like, oh, you see what we did there? Like, no. Sacramento's one of the worst teams. It's fine if he goes there. But I'm with you. I think they have to have value there. I just think, and we can get into it on the other side.
Would you salary dump him just to get rid of him at this point, just to say, listen, we need to wash our hands of him?
No, I would not do that. That would be, because if you were going to do that, you should have done that before you even got into the season with him. What was the whole point?
Right.
And if you're not, my issue is they're not featuring him. And I think it's going two ways. We can get into it on the other side, because I really think there's like, not a conspiracy, but like there's something going on with him and the Warriors. I don't think it's as one-sided as we think.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about Jonathan Kuminga and why he's not playing. Is it all Steve Kerr, or is there something going on there that we're not privy to? Plus, we haven't heard from you all show. Say something before we go to the break.
Hi, Dan. Happy New Year to you too, Ken. Ken, I've been enjoying listening.
Can we say Happy New Year right now, though? I think Larry David would be really upset.
Are you one of those guys that's saying Happy New Year in March?
I'm not, I promise. I just haven't seen you, Dan, in a long time.
Merry Christmas.
We'll be back on 95.7 The Game after this.
Boy, am I glad to be done with my holiday shopping.
Oh, I know.
And now I just want to relax.
Me too. Well, except there's one more store we should check out.
Oh, no way.
Because this week, we can get a Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at an incredible price.
Really? Where?
At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. They're really cutting deals.
Because the holidays are over?
Yep. So this is our chance to get what we wanted for Christmas.
Are the prices really that good?
Yes. For 7 days they are. And Video Only has those top-rated models we were thinking about all on sale.
All right. The best stuff cheap is worth a trip.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi.
Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-568-6533. 800-568-6533. 800-568-6533.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Hey, it's Willard for Underdog Fantasy. Football season is rolling toward the end. Christian McCaffrey is rolling towards some major stats. Let's get in on this, root for it, maybe make some money too. With Underdog Unwrapped, you're going to unwrap a bunch of promos going on right now, boosts, gimme picks, even some surprises sprinkled in. You should check it out because you can make picks and win money right now in California. Playing on Underdog is easy. You pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on stats, rushing yards, receiving yards with CMC. You get the idea. So play with me, download the Underdog app, and use my promo code Willard to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, the promo code is Willard. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 or over and present in California. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or go online at ncpgambling.org.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula?
No.
Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo?
Absolutely not. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
He would finish with 27 of the Warriors go on to win, putting up 137 points. They've averaged 120 over the last 11 games. The Warriors now have won 8 of 11. They're 3 games over 500. That's their high water mark on the season still. 2 or 3 games out of the number 6 seed. And, of course, that's the difference between getting into the playoffs, resting, getting a full week off, as opposed to that play-in mess, which is something that they would like to avoid as an older basketball team. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, because we've been talking about back-to-backs, but one thing, I don't know if you've noticed, they don't have a back-to-back for a couple of weeks.
Well, they played so many back-to-backs at the beginning of the season.
Right, they got them out of the way, so now they should be primed and ready. Like, we should be having Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton every day, or every game, rather.
And schedule does matter. Because look at what it is that OKC was able to do in the beginning of the season with one of the lightest schedules in the NBA. And yes, they're a good basketball team, and I do believe that the getting out of the West is going to go through OKC once again. And I do think that the odds-on favorite, as good as San Antonio has been.
They just hit a patch. Yeah, that's all.
Well, but the schedule is also flipped for them, although they've been getting beaten by
the Hornets.
Charlotte, yeah, that was crazy. But they also have been playing better teams, and San Antonio has owned them, winning 3 of the last 4. But in the beginning of the season, they were able to compile some crazy numbers because the schedule was really, really weak.
Do you think the Emirates Cup has kind of hurt teams like that? Because I feel like the Knicks, the Spurs, and the Thunder have really kind of been feeling it. Although their schedule, at least I know with the Knicks, their schedule was rough. Like, they had a back-to-back. They had to, they were on the road at one point after being in Vegas. Like, they had a rough, back into the regular season schedule. So I think they're still kind of feeling the remnants of it. At least those teams are.
So we're staying. I just have to clean up the TJD. I'm a TJD fan if you're just tuning in, and I know that he can't stretch the floor. He can't shoot. I love his energy. I love the way he is, how springy he is around the rim, and I love the way this dude gets out and fills lanes on the break, something that a lot of people don't pay attention to, and the fact that he can get in the pick-and-roll dunker spot. So somebody points out, as the TJD conversation continues, TJD is great, but he doesn't match the Warriors' style of play. Look at all the successful big men on the Warriors. Great point. I'm with you. Change your style of play, Steve Kerr. It's as simple as that.
Is that it?
I don't mean you have to change it drastically, but the fact that guys are pick and roll doesn't mean you don't fit in. DMP, get coach's decision, get to the end of the bench, and we'll see you in a month. I mean, find room for a guy like that. And if he's effective coming out of the dunker spot, you can't tell me that Draymond Green doesn't like to puncture that lane, draw a crowd, and then throw that lob to a guy who's lurking on the baseline. JaVale McGee on line 2. I mean, there's guys that make livings out of that. And TJD is he fulfills a role that they just don't have. Again, am I saying start him at the center position? Maybe, but I'm just to give him an opportunity more so than sticking him in and out, yo-yoing him in and out of that Steve Kerr doghouse.
Well, you were talking about it in the last segment, and I thought about it. It makes sense now is that, one thing you said on the break, TJD does really good on the break. Is that right? Or are you talking about Quinton Post? I think it was TJD, but
definitely not Quinton Post.
All right. But who's been who's done really well on the break is Guy Santos. Now, I know he's not a center, but I think he's kind of the cog in the TJD machine that is inserted himself, at least in the last few games. That's dude, he is moving. Curry's just all right, I got the ball. I'm gonna go up court. And Guy's off to the races to his spot. He's going straight. And he's done really well, especially on the baseline, outside the perimeter. He'll rush to the baseline, and Draymond will find him under the basket. And now he's gotten blocked a couple of times. I think Giannis kind of nailed him on Thursday, I believe. But, yeah, he's another reason why. And I think that's a good thing. It's a good thing for the Warriors. It's a bad thing for TJD.
It's the overall point you're making is part of the reason why I think that Jonathan Kuminga does not play. It's because Steve Kerr is letting everybody know, I lean in on guys who buy in, that are willing to go and play on every single, that don't take any possessions off. And it's sort of a backward slap in the face and sort of an indictment of what it is that I think Steve Kerr thinks of Jonathan Kuminga. Look at guys that are getting run in front of Jonathan Kuminga. I mean, it's the Pat Spencers for a while. Now Pat Spencer's sitting right next to Jonathan Kuminga.
What happened to him?
It's just that they're trying to pare down.
Yeah, there's too many.
You either go, if it's going to be Podziemski and you're going to go Peyton, then we have to sort of pare this down a little bit. Yeah. But I'm a Pat Spencer guy. Don't get me going on Pat Spencer either. I'm a big Pat Spencer guy.
Cam Spencer too has been pretty awesome the last few.
But I think that when it comes to the Warriors, when you see guys like Guy Santos is the poster child, I think there's a direct cause and effect with Guy Santos getting minutes and Jonathan Kuminga not. Jonathan Kuminga probably has more talent in his left index finger than Guy Santos has in his entire body when it comes to the game of basketball. We know that about Jonathan Kuminga. But why does he get run? Well, Steve Kerr is rewarding him, and Steve Kerr recognizes in order to play with Steve Kerr, whether it's right or wrong, is you have to have that sort of buy-in like that of Guy Santos. You got to be willing to work your ass off. You got to be willing to understand defensive rotations. You got to be willing to do all those little things that maybe Jonathan Kuminga is somebody that is not very good at least at this point in his career.
Yeah, I want to disagree with you, but you're right, because like as great and athletic as he is, I think he holds the ball for too long. He doesn't really find the open man as much. He can cut to the basket. He can get on the breakaway, but like it's almost like I don't want to say one trick pony because he has a little bit of a jumper, but yeah, there's some limitations when it comes to playing Kerr's and Curry's style of basketball.
Well, let's stay on the Kuminga theme. Austin's hanging out in San Mateo, 888-957-9570. Austin, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Hey, before I start with Kuminga, hey, where's his pods been at? The way he went to the rack strong like that, finishing with 2. Man,
you like that?
We need that pods. Yeah, we need that pods.
They just let him in, though. They just the Kings were like, you know what? This game's already done. You just go right on ahead.
I don't even care. I didn't know the man could dunk. I don't even care. I need to see that other than seeing the pods going to the paint, pivot, turnover. I don't want to see that pods. I want to see that pods. I did not know that. But this Kuminga, man, he raw. I hope they don't trade him. I just hope Kuminga just buy in this last year, maybe year and a half, too, with Draymond and Steve Kerr's system, and just let them have that. And then it's going to be your turn. And another thing, how they continue going on with Kuminga, why they give up so fast on James Wiseman and let Kuminga develop, let Jordan Poole develop, but don't let Wiseman, our big man, develop. I think if they would have did that, James Wiseman would have been in a better predicament than he in right now. What do you think about that?
Well, he got opportunities to develop with other teams, and it just wasn't there. I think that James Wiseman has some holes in his game, but he's also injury prone. But I don't think it's exclusively on the Golden State Warriors, and that the Warriors, along with other teams, Detroit, I believe, where Wiseman was handed the keys.
Indiana as well.
Got him in the rotation, and it just hasn't worked out. I would never turn my back entirely on a guy who's that big and that athletic. I think that there might be a role for him at some point, but at this juncture, I think James Wiseman is who he is. Jonathan Kuminga, listen, man. I know that you got to trade him at the deadline, but there's got to be equitable market value coming back. Otherwise, you can't move him. Now, what is that equitable value? Well, it depends on what it is that Mike Dunleavy sees that's worthy of coming back to the Golden State Warriors. Now, obviously, it's not what you want in terms of the demand for Jonathan Kuminga's services. You've had to lower that bar considerably because you're not playing him. But to your point, maybe it wasn't your point, but I think you were insinuating this.
Sure.
Is this all on Steve Kerr? Is this Steve Kerr just saying you're in the doghouse, you don't fit in my system, I'm leaning in on guys like that, Guy Santos, or is there more to this story involving one Jonathan Kuminga that maybe we're just not aware of?
Yeah, and again, I'm putting up hand quotations here. This is my conspiracy theory on it. I think it's going both ways because we talked about this, in between segments, like the Thunder game, where everybody was out. You didn't have Draymond, didn't have Steph, didn't have Jimmy. Okay? Kuminga. We're learning from. We spoke to who was it? Bonte and Evan. They were hosting the midday show. They spoke to Kerr. Kerr said, "Oh yeah, he's good to go. He's ready to play." And then we find out a few hours later, back tightened up, not going to be able to make it. I think it's working. I think it's going both ways with Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors. I think there's something going on that they're not really telling us. I think he's also part of the reason why he's not playing. The bigger question is why? Why wouldn't you want to feature yourself? Why wouldn't you want to go play for, against Oklahoma City and see what you can do in order to get yourself into a better situation? Why wouldn't you want teams to see what you have when you don't have to worry about Steph Curry or Draymond Green or anybody else and playing in a system? He could have been his own system against that Friday game against Oklahoma City, and he's like, don't think I can make it, boss.
Pasta, you need to get on the show?
Who's that?
Maybe not for our show, but you weekday coconuts. I got some weekday run last week. Or when was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, you were great.
Was I?
Yeah, kind of.
Wow, he got honest. It only took you a second to get honest, Pasta.
But Pasta, who I'd love to see, and this is for you as well, Ken, because I know you produce from time to time. But remember Jonathan Kingman's agent who was doing the tour, and you could not get him. He was on everybody's show. I'd like to hear from him now, because if there's any truth to what it is that you're saying, the agent will tell you what's up. Because usually, whatever Jonathan Kuminga is doing, if there's any validity to this is Jonathan Kuminga not wanting to play, that's probably a directive that's being handed down from his agent.
Yeah. His name is Aaron Turner, and he was on with Steiny and Goo earlier this year at, I think it was like a shoot around or a practice or something that Kuminga was at. And they tried to get Kuminga on, and it's something. I think the AirPods that they were using weren't working, or it couldn't connect, whatever it was. But Evan usually sits in this chair, or sits in your chair rather. I'm gonna kind of voice him right here. You said you want to hear from him. No, you don't. He's the reason, or one of the reasons why Kuminga is in the situation he's in. He opened his mouth, and that whole tour of talking up Kuminga and saying, I can't really remember the quotes, but he was basically kind of dogging the organization in a way. You don't need to hear any more from Aaron Turner.
Well, you
really shouldn't.
So he was pimping his client, which is what they do. They got the contract. Fair. So now, after all of that, after all of the back and forth and the posturing for months, it's all we heard of. He played well early on in the season, and now we're at where we're at. I would love to hear from him now. How do we get from where you were in the beginning of the season to where your client's at right now? He must have some things to say.
What do you think he should say?
No, I don't care what it is.
Oh, you don't care. You just.
But I think he has something to say. He must have some take on this. How could he not?
I think it'd make things worse. I feel like it didn't help when he was pimping.
Oh, I don't care whether I'm not advocating for Kuminga or the Warriors, or this has nothing to do in terms of him sort of stating a position so that he could benefit his client, or it's going to be misinterpreted. But all that's done. I just want to know.
You just want to hear from him, I guess.
What does he think of what the hell's gone on? Are you kidding me?
He's, again, because obviously we can sit here and speculate, but I think he could be a part of it with Kuminga. Listen, I'm going to try to get you the best deal possible to get out of here.
Is he handing down an edict like, JK, do not play for this man anymore. He screwed with you too long.
Maybe because
we're done.
I think that I think it's a two-way street. I think that maybe Kerr is saying, well, you need to play in this sort of system. He's like, well, you know what? I don't think I can. I don't think I want to be a part of a system that I'm not feeling comfortable in, because I don't think he's comfortable. Has anybody felt like, clearly it's been a very uncomfortable position for him to be in. And if guys like DeSantos are getting minutes over him, or what's his name, Pat Spencer, who I no disrespect to either of those guys, if they're getting minutes and he's not, I really think that it's not because of Kerr and Dunleavy and the Warriors organization.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that he will play? Will he see the floor in a Warrior uniform before the trade deadline?
That's a great question. I don't think so. I don't want to say I don't know because that'd just be a cop-out. I don't think he will. It also would have to be, is there a back-to-back? When's the next back-to-back? I think that's what we have to look. Yeah, Miami, Toronto. Toronto would be the game. But you know what? It's January 20th they play Toronto. So are we saying, because you think he'll get traded. I'll kind of ping pong it back to you. Do you think he'll get traded by January 15th or at January 15th?
When's the earliest he can go?
That's what I'm saying. It's the 15th because the trade deadline is officially February 5th. Let's make that clear. But he can be traded as early as January 15th. So are we saying that happens first?
I think he'll go January 15th again. What do I know? But I think it's interesting whether or not he'll play or see the floor. Obviously, somebody gets injured. You need players. You would think you would play at that point, but at this juncture, who the hell knows?
You know what the funny thing is? That's their only back-to-back until February 5th. Actually, looking at it now, the next back-to-back, I could be wrong. You guys in YouTube chat, you love correcting us here. I think it's after this next one with Miami and Toronto, the 19th and 20th. The next one right here, it says the 24th and the 25th because you got the All-Star break in between there, I believe. So clock's ticking. January 20th, either he's staying or he's gone, according to what you believe. And that is the date that I think that he will possibly maybe play his last game or his only game.
Let's get out to D in D.C., get his thoughts on Jonathan Kuminga. D, how are you, my man?
Devon, what up with you?
What's up, man?
Hey, you know when my guy Evan is not in on the radio with you, man. Things are a little shaky, but it's okay. This young man is doing all right. The young man next to you right now, he's doing all right. But listen, Devon, you know better than that. You already know why JK is not getting minutes. This young dude made a mistake, and his agent compounded the mistake by going around and trying to throw her under the bus. You cannot expose a fourth-time championship coach and say you lost confidence in him and expect to get minutes, man. That's not going to happen. I know the fans, or the stands, I should say, they have forgotten what JK has done, and they continue to complain about why the kid is not getting minutes. The reasons are right in front of your faces, man. It's right in front of your faces. It's been time for you to move off of JK. They should have moved off of him since 3 years ago. But they didn't. Thanks to Lake Up, stupid ass. Excuse my language.
Hey, D, you were breaking up a little bit. Do me a favor, man. If you can get on another line, I think you're on your rig going somewhere out there in D.C.
It sounded like running water back there, too.
Yeah, but I love my man D.C. I love his...
Sounded like Charlie Brown's parents.
Also, him calling me a young man, I appreciate that.
But he's got passion, and he comes strong, and he's my boy. So, D, if you're out there, give us another shot. We didn't hear what it is that you got going. We could feel the passion. I just couldn't hear you very well.
He said that they should have got off him 3 years ago. He was playing he's only been in the league for 4 years. So what does he mean?
Yeah, but I think that
what do you mean?
I think his point is that if Steve Kerr recognized, and I think Steve Kerr is no idiot, if he recognized that this is a dude that can't fit in my system, and I don't know that, because this has always been, I think, a Laker pick. And he got introduced to Jonathan Kuminga after the draft. And it was like, I think the last guy who was on board was Steve Kerr. So I think the point being made is that if he wasn't your guy, then you could have avoided all of this song and dance and dealt this guy a long time ago. Now, obviously, easier said than done, but...
So should we also shout out Bob Myers for the one who drafted him?
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
if you get an opportunity, Pasta, find Bill Simmons talking about Tyrese Halliburton when he came out in that draft. I know it's after the fact, but it's just one of the many that Bob Myers has missed on. Not here to dog Bob Myers, but everybody said, it's LaMelo Ball or it's going to be James Weissman, just to stay with the James Weissman talk. Bill Simmons, who, I don't know what you think of Bill Simmons. He's one of the guys that he's a go-to of mine when it comes to podcasts. And I like just about everybody on the Ringer. Usually anybody on the Ringer is pretty awake. They know what's going on. And that's his platform, his podcasting platform. But he said at the time before the draft, he's like, I'm not kidding you. You need to go get Tyrese Halliburton, Warriors. He's like, that guy, forget about Weissman, forget about LaMelo Ball. That's the guy who fits into your system. That's a guy that'll be long-term and somebody that when Steph and company, go off to the sunset, you could hand the keys to. Tyrese Halliburton, Warrior fans, that's who it is that you need to go get. Look at what he's done in college. Look at his style of play. He is a Golden State Warrior. And everything about the way he plays the game says as much. Now, listen, if Bill Simmons can recognize that, Bob Myers, man, I'm not giving you a pass. I'm sorry. I know it's like, oh, yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, how many other teams missed on him? But listen, again, if Bill Simmons can recognize a Golden State Warrior and a future Hall of Famer, you should have been able to do the same. Big Smooth hanging out in Oakland wants to talk about JK. What's up, Big Smooth?
Yeah, so, I think about JK and what's going on. I'm looking at his agent, and I'm thinking, what other clients does this guy have? Show me. We need to see if this guy is doing anything credible. I mean, if JK is his only client, that speaks volumes. I think what we're looking at here is, the Warriors have won 7 out of 10 without JK. Okay, so there you have it. That means we can continue to build on what we're doing. I think the piece we need our David West. We need a rugged inside player that can 6'10", that can play tough inside. I think that's all really what we need. I think all the pieces are here, excluding one bigger guy. And he doesn't have to be Giannis. It could be a guy like Quinton Portis. I think as we see these teams start to position themselves for next year, some of them don't need to win anymore. Let's face it. And I think that's where we're going to find a deal. So it seems odd that nobody is really looking at JK strongly right now. All the murmurings of Sacramento, Chicago, but again, we don't know. There could be conversations that something's about to break. But from what Athletic reported, that he would be traded on this homestand. That's what they reported. I don't know if it's true. We're going to find out. But I just think it's odd that who is this guy? Who is his agent? Who else? What are the clients is he guiding the correct way? If anybody can answer that for me, I'd love to hear it.
I got an answer for you. Terry Rozier apparently is his only other client.
I'm looking at this right now, like his client list. Yeah, he jumps out. Victor Oladipo jumps out.
Oladipo's not in the league anymore.
No, is he? I think what does it say? The Wisconsin Herd. He plays. Yeah, he's an unrestricted free agent. Kevin Knox, former Warrior. There's not much. A lot of young guys. Pasta, good job for pointing that out. A lot of young guys, especially a couple of guys in college, I believe, or who are draft eligible. Scotty Middleton. Yeah, I don't know some of these guys. Trey Mann, he's another one, but doesn't have a high quality list. So he's kind of riding the coattails of Jonathan Kuminga. Again, I don't know if. Because he said, he said getting David West. I mean, is there a David West out there? That's the issue. Because if we've been talking about this for the last hour and a half, if there's only so much you can get, do you even make the move at all? I mean,
well, I think a David West type is easier to get than say maybe a number 3 scorer, which I think they need. I understand what it is Big Smooth is saying. They do need a big, but I also think you could use somebody next to Butler and Steph Curry that you can rely on that's going to give you buckets. We thought it was Jonathan Kuminga. It's not going to be Jonathan Kuminga. I think you need to fill that void. All right, we'll continue to talk about it. Trade deadline's coming up. What do you do with Jonathan Kuminga? I think we all know that he's going to get traded, but your thoughts on Jonathan Kuminga's play up to this point? We talk about it here on Warriors This Week. It's my man, Mr. Ken Luttrell and Dan Avone. Text here on 95.7 The Game.
I bet you folks are glad to be done with your shopping. Hopefully, all your gifts went well. But there's one last store to visit, this time just for yourself. Your chance to get one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony TVs at a crazy low price. Where? At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. A great way to end the year. If you don't check out these deals at Video Only, You'll be sorry.
The NFL is taking over the Bay Area. Experience football like never before with Super Bowl Experience presented by Jersey Mike's February 3rd through 7th at the Moscone Center. Tickets start at just $40 and kids 12 and under attend for free. Visit superbowl.com to buy your tickets today.
Hey, this is Willard and Dibs from 95.7 The Game with great news from Safeway. You can earn Safeway rewards with each purchase you make. Then use your rewards for discounts on groceries or up to 20 cents off per gallon in gas rewards at participating Chevron or Texaco stations, and up to $1 off per gallon at participating Safeway fuel stations.
Not a member? Register for an account with your phone number at checkout and start earning rewards today. I personally love shopping at Safeway and saving up to 20% on my purchases for you with personalized deals, meal plans that list the ingredients needed to make shopping easy, and pet perks. There's something for everyone, including a free item every month from some of my favorite brands.
If you sign up today, you can get $5 off your first purchase of $25. Restrictions and exclusions apply. Learn more at Safeway.com/4U. That's Safeway.com/FORU, as in the letter U. We will see you at Safeway soon.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask
Awards USA. Fixed broadband experience report, May 2025.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Reliable Legal Marketing.
Attention California residents. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, including chronic lymphocytic leukemia, a common subtype, is one of the most common cancers in the United States. If you or loved one was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or chronic lymphocytic leukemia and were exposed to Roundup weed killer, you could be entitled to cash compensation. Bayer, the owner of Roundup, has agreed to pay more than $10 billion to cancer victims linked to the weed killer. Call our weed killer cancer hotline now to see if you're entitled to cash compensation. If you or someone you love has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or chronic lymphocytic leukemia and were exposed to Roundup, call now. Our attorneys have the experience and specialize in fighting for everyday people to get the compensation you deserve. If you or a loved one was diagnosed, even if a loved one has passed away, call 800-341-4933 now. But hurry, time is limited. Call 800-341-4933. 800-341-4933.
Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Will Trial Law, LLC, 1001 Bannock Street, Denver, Colorado, 80204.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-568-6533. 800-568-6533. 800-568-6533.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Boy, am I glad to be done with my holiday shopping.
Oh, I know.
And now I just want to relax.
Me too. Well, except there's one more store we should check out.
Oh, no way.
Because this week, we can get a Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at an incredible price.
Really? Where?
At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. They're really cutting deals.
Because the holidays are over?
Yep. So this is our chance to get what we wanted for Christmas.
Are the prices really that good?
Yes. For 7 days they are. And Video Only has those top-rated models we were thinking about all on sale.
All right. The best stuff cheap is worth a trip.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
Doors and loading dock equipment are a crucial part of your business, and one you probably don't think much about until they break. A broken door or dock leveler can be a real security threat, along with disturbing the flow of goods in your business. Luckily, RNS is here for all your commercial door, dock, and gate needs. From overhead doors and security shutters to fire-rated and personnel doors, RNS can provide your business with safety and security. Call 800-FIX-A-DOOR to schedule a free estimate or visit rsdoors.com. RNS Doors. Look for the red truck.
This is your college football postseason update presented by Factor. Eat like a pro. The quarterfinals delivered high drama this past weekend as championship contenders survived bowl game battles to punch their tickets to the semifinals. Razor-thin margins decided who keeps their title hopes alive and who heads home. Now the stakes rise even higher with the semifinals set for this week. Just like the athletes powering through their biggest moments of the year, Factor meals fuel performance with pro-level nutrition delivered to your door. Ready when you are. Factor. Eat like a pro.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mirajoyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Warriors win it, putting up 137 points against the Sacramento Kings. Now have won 8 of 11 and have turned a corner. 3 games over 500. That's the high watermark on the season, averaging 120 points over the last 11 games, which has really been sort of a sticking point. This team has always been good defensively this year amongst the top 3. But offensively, they've ranked right around number 22. They certainly have improved on that. So we're talking about whether they're just simply being able to benefit from an easy schedule, or whether this team now clearly has an identity and has turned a corner and ready to make a serious push towards the second half of the season and catching the number 6 seed, which I believe right now is the Lakers. Not the Lakers. It might be Minnesota. Minnesota is at number 6.
The Lakers are actually 4th?
I believe they're 4th, yeah. I do want to talk a little J.J. Redick, time permitting.
Oh, boy.
Somebody's going after me here, calling me Kuminga's agent sounds like Devone playing Jerry Maguire. Only reason I read that is because Jerry Maguire was based on the agent Lee Steinberg, who is the agent for one Patrick Mahomes. And Lee Steinberg always has the party that back in the day when I used to go to Super Bowls, it's the one party that I always wanted to attend. Because the older I got, like I was done with the nightclubs, because Super Bowl parties, they usually go off, like usually Maxim Magazine. I don't even know if that's around anymore. That used to be like the big party.
I remember Maxim Magazine.
Playboy Magazine. Like there used to be huge parties, but they'd always go off late night. But Lee Steinberg always has like a lunch. It's like from noon to 4. It's like perfect.
So day drinking sort of a thing.
Day drinking, good food, and usually has an awesome venue. I remember he had it in San Diego when he rented out the San Diego Zoo. And I was speaking of our man Pearlman. I was having drinks with John Rocker at that thing.
Oh, God. So, don't get into that guy.
Yeah. But I need someone at 95.7 The Game, maybe you, Pasta, or you, Ken, or Evan, to get me a ticket, give me a credential, somehow get me into Lee Steinberg's party, because as we all know, the Super Bowl is here in San Francisco this year, or Santa Clara.
Why can't the big kahuna like yourself?
I got no more pull, man.
Oh, okay.
No one knows who the hell I am.
So you...
I'm doing mornings from 9 to 12 on a Saturday. What the hell? Bottom is clearly falling off. Let's get out to Greg hanging out in Martinez as we continue with the Jonathan Kuminga conversation. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Hey, Devon, how you doing? Happy weekend to you and Latrell. Appreciate the call.
And I want to get your feedback on or your thoughts on this, Devon. How come J.K. and his agent just didn't do the qualifying offer and just be in control of his future? Why put himself in this position? He's getting a bunch of DMPs anyway.
Good question. And I think that they would like to revisit that. I don't think anybody could anticipate where this relation has got to at this point. But I think if they could do it all over again, they would have pushed for that. But I think that it was hardball, right? So the Warriors are like, we're not doing that. And so it's either, it's our way or the highway. And you can say what you will about Aaron Turner is the guy's name, is that he was in a staring match with Dunleavy, Lacob, and Steve Kerr, and he blinked. I think that's the only way that I could surmise that what it is that you're talking about.
But okay, so the qualifying offer, wasn't that under Jonathan Kuminga's control?
No. That's
the qualifying. He could have accepted it, but he was holding out for something better.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the qualifying offer, you're right. Well, I got you. Let me back up a little bit.
Are you talking about the extension from last year that he was offered?
The qualifying offer, you're right. That was on the table. And you make a good point, Greg. I'll let you go. You're right. And I don't have an answer for that. I lost Greg. I don't know if I gave him what it is he was looking for, but I got you.
Like, why not just well, he did take the qualifying offer. Like, but he's saying, like, why did he wait all that time in order to get the extension? I think that's kind of like what he was saying. Like, what was the point of all that?
Yeah, I think that it's just where we're at right now with Jonathan Kuminga. When you think about the qualifying offer, what was on the table for Kuminga during the offseason, how we all talked about it, right? Team option, player option, that's what I was referring to. My apologies. That was the big hang-up, right? And so we went back and forth on the player option, team option, Jonathan Kuminga, do you invest? What do you do long-term? Is he part of the future? Let's see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, you can always trade him. And he starts the season, let's not forget, and dismiss the 4-1 start where he was doing everything that Steve Kerr was asking, right? He was playing defense. He was a two-way player. He was giving you big numbers. He was that third leading scorer, if not the number 2 scorer to that of Steph Curry some nights. And now we're at where we're at. How did we get here? Quite frankly, I have no idea. Other than maybe it's Steve Kerr all along. It's just like, even when he was playing well, I was never invested in this guy. But when you think about him not playing against the Thunder and not playing basketball games, you can't tell me that there isn't a role for him for a team that needs athletic, young basketball players that can score. Say what you will about, he doesn't play defense or doesn't understand rotations. There are moments throughout the course of a game where you need somebody who can just get you buckets or can get you to the line or can just simply be an athlete that can match some of the other athletes on the opposing teams. You can't tell me there aren't at least stretches of 10 to 12 minutes that Jonathan Kuminga serves a purpose. So for him not to play, I think begs the question, is this more than just simply Steve Kerr deciding that, no, he's in the doghouse until the trade deadline, and or the Warriors are willing to play him, but for some reason Jonathan Kuminga is saying, nah, man, I'm not into it anymore.
Yeah, it's a really weird situation, and we were talking before, this segment that Isaiah Thomas was on this Run It Back YouTube show with Michelle Beadle, Chandler Parsons, and former Warrior DeMarcus Cousins. And he was saying how it's a very strange situation as well. And he actually gives Kuminga credit for not blowing up. But he goes, I know if it was me or guys like Latrell Sprewell, we're going to choke the coach. Now, he wasn't saying that he should choke Steve Kerr, because I think they were kind of...
Shout out PJ Carlesimo.
Right, exactly. He was just saying, it's odd that he's taking this so professionally. But I'm also we don't know enough if he's taking it professionally, because if he's saying, no, I don't want to play, to me, that's not being professional. You're just kind of sitting out and saying, well, I don't want to be a part of whatever you guys want to do. Whether he should have taken the extension last year, I don't even, that's still speculative, I believe, right? Whether he had that, $86 million extension. Like, I think there was still, what do you call it? They weren't sure if that was actually a true story about him getting that extension. But yeah, for them to just drag it on and then him like not play right now, it's just super odd. I honestly just wanted to just get it over with.
I'm trying to understand what are the benefits. If indeed his camp and Aaron Turner are saying, no, man, we're just going to shut him down, what's the benefit? Is that he might get hurt? I'm trying to understand how does that raise your stock? Or it's an inevitability that he's going to get traded, so he doesn't really care what it is that you get in return. That doesn't concern Jonathan Kuminga. It's just like he wants to be fresh, healthy, and good to go for his next team, so I'm not playing with the Warriors.
I think that's it, because unless he thinks he must think that they've seen enough, or teams have seen enough, rather. At least the Kings, right? The Kings feel like they've seen enough. We know we can get Jonathan Kuminga. We know he can attack the basket. We know he has a decent shot. Like, they don't care if he can play sound defense, if he can spread the floor. They don't care about any of that, apparently. They don't care about what the Warriors care about enough. I think...
Well, they're the Kings.
Yeah, that's very true. They are the Kings. But I think that's the thing that Kuminga's not worried about then, because he doesn't seem to mind not playing. Because you would think he would say something. We haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it's weird. He's actually been in sort of a good mood. I've seen him smile. I hear Anthony Slater saying, I've talked to him, and he's actually, and who knows, right? He may go home and punch the mirror or whatever it is that he's doing, but he seems to be in a good frame of mind. He's obviously resigned to the fact that it's over, but...
And they keep asking Kerr about it, and I feel like Kerr is like exhausting everything he can, but they just recently asked him. He said, it's going to be tricky to start JK, Jimmy, and Draymond at the 2, 3, and 4. Just based on shooting, that's a tough combo. But, we're not even talking about him starting, just playing. So what are we doing?
And one of the deals that was out there was apparently the Warriors were in on Anthony Davis. And Jonathan Kuminga obviously would have had to be part of that. So would have Draymond and or Jimmy Butler if you're going to have the money matchup. First of all, don't get me started on AD, but that's now on the shelf, and anybody else.
You and me both. I don't know why. I get why people are high on him, but his track record is unbelievable.
Well, he's hurt again. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, right. His hand. So he's out
his
for
his finger.
Is that what?
I shouldn't laugh because it's a legitimate injury, but only Anthony Davis.
And he's so I love who he was, especially in New Orleans. I mean, obviously he won a championship with LeBron in LA, but very good when he's on the floor, but he's never on the floor. At least I think they said the last time he played over 60 games was in 2019. Why would even the Knicks were talking, people were saying, the Knicks should go grab him. No, why? Why would you do that? There's so much more risk involved. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, I think
I didn't want to do what you just did. But.
Anthony Davis is off the table, so now he's going. Dallas is probably like, oh, great, we got this guy. The thing about Anthony Davis is that forget about the fact that he's Mr. Street Clothes, often injured, not available, and teases you with that remarkable talent. And it's only going to get worse the older he gets. He's in his early 30s, still in his prime. But it's the contract. He wants an extension for $275 million over 4 years. He still has 2 years remaining. He's going to get like $60 million plus next year. Who in their right mind is going to invest in that guy for 6 more years at that dollar amount?
I don't think anybody will, especially because
I'm drunk on that mezcal that you're drinking.
I'm looking at it now because actually our boss, Matt Nahegan, he asked Grok last night on Twitter. Did you see? He asked him, what's his...
Who did he ask on Twitter?
The AI, Grok?
Oh, Grok.
Am I saying that right?
Pasta?
That sounds about right, yeah.
So,
I know Dan doesn't have Twitter, so he might have not seen it.
Is it Gronk? Is Gronk now on
it's
AI?
not Gronk. It's not.
What have we come to that we're asking Gronk for advice?
Well, it's Elon Musk's AI chat thing on Twitter.
There you go. So he asked him, he goes, well, can you make a list of every injury that Anthony Davis has had? And it gave...
Did it blow up?
Dude, I don't think it blew up, but he gives him an entire list from 2012 all the way to now. There is just a laundry list. Sprains, torn labrum, knee, back, foot, Achilles, eye surgery, hip, ankle. Like this dude has had.
Was it like one of those robots back in the day when I was a kid? Cannot compute, and the head's going up and down and steam's coming out of the ears.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't break X while he asked that question for Grok. But
not 5, not 6, not 7.
Exactly. I mean, I think that. So if he's not even going to get an extension like that based upon his injuries, I mean, for JK to get even remotely close to the extension that he was being offered, I don't think you're going to get it because we haven't featured enough and we're kind of saving you to not get injured. So if we're trying to preserve you, wouldn't that give you caution to want to give an extension to a guy or even trade for a guy like that?
Yeah, I don't believe, just like in the preseason where you'll see football teams, I want to bubble wrap this guy, don't want to get him injured. You know, what about just getting back to sort of like, you know, when you talk about entertainment and you talk about his contract, how about just the fundamentals of bro? You're making $20+ million a year. Don't you have an obligation to play? I don't really give a damn about getting injured. I don't believe in bubble wrapping people. I don't believe in the preseason in the NFL of, let's not. Just injuries are all part of the game. Nobody wants to get hurt. I understand it's untimely, but play the damn game. You're here to do one thing. And you're also being handsomely rewarded. And you're also, when you think about it from a team concept, if he makes you win games, then stop the cat and mouse of, well, don't want him to get hurt. Or whatever the reasoning is, whatever the politicking is right now, there should be only one motivating factor. Does Jonathan Kuminga make me a better team? And can I win games playing him, albeit sparingly throughout the course of a game? If the answer to that, if Steve Kerr, if he's arrived after the body of work that is now 5 years, that no, we're better off without him, fine. But the whole idea of don't want him to get hurt, I'm going to DMP him aside from games that I think, we can use. I mean, the whole silliness is just stop already.
Yeah, they've already been bubble wrapping people, Dan. They're trying to bubble wrap Curry, with the back-to-backs. They're trying to bubble wrap Jimmy. I feel like in certain terms, they're not playing guys. Especially, I think the most annoying part though is when they bubble wrap them, or just don't play them. Rather, they're not playing them against better teams. Although they did that with the Kings. Was it a couple of months ago when Will Richard went off for 30 and they lost that heartbreaker. But yeah, they're already doing that with other guys, and then they're slow building back Al Horford. They slow build back DeAnthony Melton. I mean, they still have guys hurt. Like Seth Curry has been with the team, and they still, he's been in and out with the sciatica. You don't understand the sciatic injuries.
Is Seth like Giannis's Theonis, or Thanasis? Thanasis. I actually went out. I dated a Theonis when I was 22 years of age.
You don't know anybody named Theonis.
Swear to God.
No.
I think her name was Theonis. Is that a female Greek name?
I don't know. What was her last name?
She was definitely Greek. I don't remember the last name.
Yeah, if her name is Theonis, probably.
What's her last name? As if he's going to just say that on air.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to. That's all right. I don't want to dox anybody.
But I do believe Theonis is a female name if you're sort of the Greek persuasion.
So it's a Greek name meaning, quote, divine.
Oh, yeah.
Divine and Devone.
Well, there you go, man.
That's
right on.
You were a match made.
No, we definitely were not, man. This is one of those, it's closing time at the Balboa Cafe and I can't see straight. No.
Oh, no.
Oh, pasta. Come on, man. Why take it there, bro?
Also, that's a drop that I had for that was 2 years old. That's fine. Now, listen, sorry, we No, don't do that to Seth Curry. He's actually played.
No, Seth is.
I know
he actually can give you some shooting when healthy.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him? Has he got sciatica?
He does.
Does he? No.
That's what it was. I swear that's what it is.
Two guys in the Warriors have sciatica.
Seth Curry.
Dude, get the AARP card out right now for every one of those.
Sciatic nerve irritation. Wait, who's the other one?
Is Al Horford had sciatica?
Oh, he did? Well, Al Horford's also a lot older than.
Yeah, that's
he's got left sciatic nerve irritation.
Gout.
Listen, anybody can have gout.
Oh, you had gout.
I had gout.
We talked about that.
It sucks. It's not fun. Also, I think when you're
arthritis. Does anyone have arthritis on the Warriors roster?
I mean, some of these guys at the age they're playing. What's the other one that really hurts people? Was it plantar fasciitis? That one stinks.
Oh no, that
stinks.
I think that can happen at any
You can't
age.
run.
Yeah,
you can't run. But sciatica too. It's like lightning going down.
Turf toe.
Well, Brock Purdy overcame that this season. By the way, I know a lot of Warrior fans are like real excited about this 8-11. A lot of them are gearing up for tomorrow, man. That's going to be.
That's for another show.
Oh no, I'm just saying.
We're all about the Warriors, man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But they just have too many guards. I want to say that.
No, they do. So
too many damn guards.
Here's something that I want to tease, and I really want to get into. And I know it sounds a little silly, but it's every time I watch the Warriors, I'm like, the next time I get in front of a live mic at 95.7 The Game, I'm going to talk about this because it's becoming an issue, and that is passing up on layups. And the Warriors, I watch a lot of teams on League Pass, not everybody. But nobody does it as frequently as the Warriors. And what is it that I'm talking about? I'm talking about Jimmy Butler having a bunny at the bucket, and then he kicks to the corner for Quinton Post shooting a three. I just want to I want to pull my eyeballs out.
You and Snoop Dogg both. Did you hear him on the broadcast in the second half of the Clippers game?
No.
He was first of all,
he's good,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Even when Kerr got ejected, he was lightning, and even Kerr got a kick out of it. But no, he said like. It was during the sequence when Curry got touched on the hip and he threw the ball real high up in the air, and they said he sank the bucket, but they said the foul happened before the shot, which it looked like a continuance to me, and a lot of fans were upset about it. But what I want to say is that during that sequence they could have laid it up, and I think it was Butler. Correct me if I'm wrong, people out there listening. He kicked it out, and Snoop Dogg was like, "No, what are you doing?" He goes, "You're right there." He goes, "I hate this new style of basketball." He was losing his mind over it.
Is this being enthralled with the three? I get it. The three's part of the game.
Well, that's Steph Curry's fault, though. You know that, right?
Yeah, but to a certain degree, everybody shoots the three, but not if Podziemski gets to the lane one more time and he's got a runner in his midst. By the way, go see John Stockton. John Stockton, obviously the assist leader and a guy that could shoot a three, but he made his living on that runner in the paint. So did Mark Jackson with the teardrop. That was his offense. It was a pick and roll with Karl Malone, and then I knife into the lane, and I hit that little runner from about 8 feet away. It's what I do. It's how I averaged, what it is that I averaged in the NBA. It's why I'm a Hall of Famer. And Podziemski, time after time, him and those black weighted high tops gets into the lane with that clunky left hand, and instead of just shooting what is a clear look at the rim from 7 feet away, he thinks it's a better idea to kick to the angle and have Al Horford shoot a three. And the fact that's bad in and of itself, but the fact that Steve Kerr doesn't just simply go AAU and blow a whistle or a timeout and say, "What the hell are you doing? That is not permitted. Sit down and don't play basketball on my team for another month and a half."
Well, Pods gets away with everything. Although, he actually made a pretty good acrobatic shot in the corner.
No, he's been very good. I'm having fun at his expense.
I think it's that. And if I'm to go, my little gripe is the mid-range. The mid-range is a lost art.
He's worked on his mid-range, but I'm with you. Yeah. The idea that we're all Daryl Morey and it's three or bust, I think the NBA is getting away from that. And I think that the Warriors are not recognizing sort of this sea-level change that's taking place.
To give them a little credit, I know we got like 1 second here, they are moving the ball around in order to get the open man shot. And I think that's still important.
All right, we continue here on 95.7 The Game. We're going to talk Tequila and Warriors. Back after this.
Boy, am I glad to be done with my holiday shopping.
Oh, I know.
And now I just want to relax.
Me too. Well, except there's one more store we should check out.
Oh, no way.
Because this week, we can get a Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at an incredible price.
Really? Where?
At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. They're really cutting deals.
Because the holidays are over?
Yep, so this is our chance to get what we wanted for Christmas.
Are the prices really that good?
Yes, for 7 days they are, and Video Only has those top-rated models we were thinking about all on sale.
All right, the best stuff cheap is worth a trip.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
This is Vanessa Deniston, senior attorney at the Dolan Law Firm.
The Dolan Law Firm handles a diverse line of cases from personal injury to employment law.
We're proud to say the Dolan Law Firm is just as diverse in our attorneys and staff. The Dolan Law Firm consistently achieves outstanding results with over $1 billion in verdicts and settlements.
The Dolan Law Firm, the best, most diverse personal injury and employment law firm we hope you'll never need.
Contact us at dolanlawfirm.com.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast.
Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
This is Larry Flick, owner of The Floor Store. When the year ends, the savings begin. With our New Year's clearance sale, get up to 50% off store-wide, 2 years free financing, and we pay your sales tax. It's our way of saying Happy New Year. The Floor Store, your Bay Area flooring authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Reliable Legal Marketing.
Attention California residents. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, including chronic lymphocytic leukemia, a common subtype, is one of the most common cancers in the United States. If you or loved one was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or chronic lymphocytic leukemia and were exposed to Roundup weed killer, you could be entitled to cash compensation. Bayer, the owner of Roundup, has agreed to pay more than $10 billion to cancer victims linked to the weed killer. Call our Weed Killer Cancer Hotline now to see if you're entitled to cash compensation. If you or someone you love has been diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or chronic lymphocytic leukemia and were exposed to Roundup, call now. Our attorneys have the experience and specialize in fighting for everyday people to get the compensation you deserve. If you or a loved one was diagnosed, even if a loved one has passed away, call 800-341-4933 now. But hurry, time is limited. Call 800-341-4933. 800-341-4933.
Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Will Trial Law, LLC, 1001 Bannock Street, Denver, Colorado, 80204.
And now, your Live Nation lineup. MXPX at the Fillmore, January 24th. Warren Haynes solo at the Fillmore, February 13th.
Spots of time like windows appear. You can look out or in. You can't get to the future I'm in.
That was your Live Nation lineup. For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Let's go!
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Warriors 3 games over 500. That is their high water mark on the season. And it's a team that is playing its best basketball. And there should be a lot of enthusiasm, optimism. So I want to make sure that our show isn't about ragging on Podziemski. Why isn't TJD playing? But there's a bit of cautious optimism, I would say, going forward. But I just got to say this on the text line. Somebody was going after me because I was going after Pods. Devone, your hate for Pods is over the top. Picking on his shoes over and over makes you sound so petty. Why are you so obsessed with him? And he goes on and on. You know, and his shoes.
It's just radio bullying. Who cares?
No, he makes a good point. Listen, fair enough, 510. Listen, I do like Pods. I think Pods, let's just get this out of the way, has been very, very good over the last month. The one thing I think a lot of people would say about Pods is that can he do it consistently? And he has. And it's been sustainable. I'm just having some fun of it at his expense. But the one thing about Pods, if you ever isolate on that guy, he does not stop moving. It does not matter whether the ball's on the other side of the floor. Even if he doesn't have a shot at a rebound, he's putting a body on a dude. He's on the floor. You win with guys like that.
Yeah.
Guys like that win NBA championships.
He's also resilient too. There was a what's his name? Russell Westbrook kind of like clamped his arm down and then like threw him to the ground. And of course, Draymond goes up to the ref. You see what he did? He goes, even Steph Curry was like, tech. And yeah, Pods was looking around like, that's it? That's all you got? But yeah, Westbrook kind of gave him the business a little bit, but he got teed up.
He's
a tough guy, but
I'm a Pods. Go ahead.
I think his biggest thing was like he was consistently inconsistent though, right? Although this year we're kind of seeing the best of him right now.
Listen, his energy is infectious. He's a good, but I do have, and I should have clarified and prefaced what it is when I went after him in his shoes. I'm just being a little tongue-in-cheek. I'm just having a little fun. But
it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
But I do have an issue, and it's not just relegated to Podziemski when he passes up that open runner to kick to the corner for a three. It's more about sort of an indictment of where the league's at, because a lot of teams do that. I think the Warriors might be the biggest offenders, and actually it's not Podziemski, but it's Jimmy Butler. And for a team, the bigger point I would say is this, Ken, is that for a team that struggles to score and has had a problem until lately, that has had issues offensively, for them passing up on layups to shoot threes, if it's not Steph, you don't really have marksmen. There is no Klay Thompson any longer. This is not the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. So the idea of throwing to a Quinton Post or throwing to an Al Horford or throwing to a Jimmy Butler for a three, I would just like to see Podziemski settle for a high percentage two. And the same holds true with Jimmy Butler. That's just a pet peeve. I didn't mean to go after Podziemski and use him as sort of the sounding board, but I do recognize he's been a much better player. So 5-1-0, listen, Mea culpa, man. I love you, brother.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off again.
No, I'm sucking up. I do it once in a while. Do not use that as a job, boss.
He's just licking his chops back there.
Wow, dude.
Well, to argue that point, I mean, yesterday the Warriors were all up in the paint. 60 points in the paint, man. And we were talking about Jimmy. Jimmy has been making the extra pass, but they've been attacking the basket. And I'm with you. They can't make high percentage 3-point shots, but they've been moving the ball around so well. Even in the Milwaukee series, even in the Milwaukee game, even in the Clippers game, consistently moving the ball, finding the open man. I don't care if you shoot threes, as long as you're getting quality shots. I mean, you've been coming down Post's road this whole show, but I think he's been getting quality looks. Now, he has to make them. Obviously, you want to make those type of shots, but yeah, I think they've been attacking the basket a lot more recently. And instead of doing because I'm with you, I hate you're on a breakaway and guys will literally stop short right at the 3-point line and then shoot it. Like, don't do that. Just keep going.
The text line is, Ken, turn off your phone.
Come on, man. No, that's not me.
What's going on here?
Everyone on YouTube can see you.
Just going back and forth with the text line here. So the 707 is trying, and I get it. This is sort of the Daryl Morey school of basketball. It's math. Let's play the numbers. And so a lot of people believe, and I'm just going to quote 707, it's called math. If you shoot 60% at the rim, which is elite, and 40% from three, which is average, you score the same amount of points. NBA teams are playing the percentages. Totally get it. I understand that. But here's the rub. It's not a 60% shot when you're wide open 3 feet from the rim. I would say that jumps up into 90 percentile. And then when you're talking about shooting 40% from three, well, who's shooting 40% from three on the Golden State Warriors not named Steph Curry? It ain't Quinton Post. It's not Al Horford. It's not Jimmy Butler. Whoever else at GP2.
Pods is right there.
But Pods is the guy who's kicking out.
Yeah.
So I guess my point in this, you can't throw the numbers at me, and you can't say it's a matter of math because it's not 60%. It's 60% from maybe a mid-range, from about 12 to 16 feet. I would say that 60% jumps to 85, if not 90, when you're saying wide open from 5 feet away, which I see them pass on. So that's essentially, to me, that's not math. That's just simply being enthralled with the 3-point line where it becomes a detriment.
How do you feel about Draymond taking a decent amount of threes this season?
He has to.
Yeah.
He has to, because
I don't like it if it's close to tying or they're losing. Don't shoot three. I even wrote that down when I was watching the game yesterday. Shoot when you're up. Don't shoot when you're down. If you're talking about Draymond, I just don't think it's, even if it's a wide open, I don't like it.
But he has to keep them honest. Like if
he was 3 for 4 yesterday.
Yeah, and because if Draymond isn't shooting a three, and you're just whoever's guarding him is clogging the middle, well, then there goes the whole theory of, well, we're stretching the floor with Quinton Post. It's thrown out the door because whoever's guarding Draymond Green is taking away whatever driving angles or whatever space that you might have, or he's doubling on Steph, or he's helping out on somebody else, and it just becomes a mess. So Draymond has to shoot that three, whether we like it or not, whether they're down or up, simply because he has to keep the defense honest to a certain degree. Yeah. And it might be the best look on a possession if you're wide open, and there's always the temptation, or at least the possibility, that he's feeling it, right? Yeah. That he might be in a groove, and the only way to know that is by shooting it.
Well, especially yesterday, too, because he was getting open looks, but again, in the last few games, at least this week, a lot of these guys have been getting really open looks. Now, I don't know if it's because no one's paying attention, but guys like Melton, Moody, I even made a point, he lives in that corner, man. That right corner three, he lives in that pocket. I want him shooting that ball every single time from that corner. Because anywhere else, he's kind of like shaky. Can't really create. He can create his own shot a little bit, but if you find him in that corner, it's dead shot.
I'm just going to end this with the 707. 707, you should call him, man, because it sounds like you know what's up. So on the text line there, look at the NBA field goal percentage leaders. You're said capped, Dan, but I think he meant to say you're crap, Dan, and your math is off again. I'm not looking at field goal percentages from the leaders. I'm looking at what it is that I see when I turn on the Golden State Warriors. And what I see is Jimmy Butler from 3 feet away passing on a layup and going to a corner or an angled three. And I see Podziemski, who has been so good but could be even better, could add another 5 points to his average when he gets into the lane, and instead of shooting a runner from like 8 feet away, he passes to the corner. 707, give me the percentages of NBA players that have wide open 3-foot looks at the rim as opposed to anybody else shooting a three. And if you can give me those numbers and the math works in your favor, hey, man, hats off to you. But you know as well as I do, there ain't no way in hell that adds up.
So if you're I'm going to be devil's advocate for a second. Even if they're passing up the easy two and they're getting to an open corner or open man three, you're against that, even though it would be beneficial in terms of like it would add to more points. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because the percentages then don't make sense at that point. What are the percentages that Jimmy Butler makes a layup from 3 feet away? I'd say about 98%. What are the percentages of Quinton Post hitting a three? About 35%?
So unless it's Steph Curry, you don't want anybody doing that.
Well, no, I get it from time to time where you draw and kick. That's the way the game's played, right? You get into a defense, they collapse, and you kick. That's just, you kick, swing, hit an open three. I understand that the way the game's being played today. I think the Warriors take it to new heights, where they pass on layups for guys shooting threes that aren't named Steph Curry. And I think after a while that if I'm Steve Kerr, if I'm somebody in management, I stop giving this a pass. And I'm like, shoot the damn ball, all right? We're a team that's like 22nd, or we were collectively in terms of offense. We need easy buckets. We need points. When the three's there, we'll take them. We'll certainly shoot a high volume of threes. But when Podziemski has and I need a bucket on a key possession, we're nip and tuck, and I get into the lane, and I've got a little layup or a runner, I want you to shoot that. I want you to shoot that more often than not. If somebody's coming out on you, or if there's, you're being well defended and you're able to kick to the corner for a three, do that. But there's too many opportunities where you're wide open and you're not taking advantage of that to give to somebody for a low percentage three.
I got you.
That doesn't add up.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Eric's hanging out in Millbrae, talking about Eric, man, get us back on track and let's be a little bit more euphoric and rejoice about the Warriors. Doggone Ken is so dark and down on these Warriors.
Well, don't talk about Quinton Post then.
Hey, what's up, guys? First off, I think having Melton back is huge for the Warriors. He's a very productive player, and you're seeing, I think his versatility, especially with that second unit, gives them a bolt of energy. So you're seeing what a difference he's made since he come back. Warriors overall just playing a lot better. I hope they stay on this course and not revert back to slumps, because they go in waves. But this homestand, I thought, came at the perfect time after that rough stretch where they had the toughest start to the schedule in the league. So now they really got to make hay here and take advantage of this, which I do think outside of maybe the Knicks, and even they're a little slumping right now, I think the Warriors should beat everybody else left on their homestand, except maybe Toronto for some reason always gives them trouble. But I think the Warriors need to play the part, because, guys, look at the Western Conference. It's a lot more tougher than it was last year. So if you're the Warriors now, you got even a team like Phoenix, which I thought would drop off. Phoenix is, for some reason, playing surprisingly well, and they're probably going to be battling the Warriors for that 7 to 8 seed. So you're the Warriors, man. You got no room to make hay, because you're going to be stuck back in that play-in where you're going to have to battle out, and then you're probably going to have to face, maybe avoid OKC. Ideally, I would love to see them play San Antonio if they don't get a top 6 seed, because as great as Wemby and the Spurs teams is, the Warriors really play them well and beat them repeatedly. So I think they're a young team. I think in a series, I think the Warriors got enough vets and playoff veteran savvy to really probably knock them out in an upset if they match up. But as long as they avoid OKC in that first round. But I think the Warriors play their part well, and barring major injuries, guys, I think they're going to be playing probably about this stretch of the basketball going forward. I want to just get your thoughts overall. The Warriors now, with seemingly good health, do you think they're really going to make a run for a 6 seed, or do you think we're probably going to be stuck back in that play-in seed, which they've been the last couple of years, and they're going to have to fight their way out and make a run? I'll get your thoughts on that. But love what I'm seeing so far and taking advantage of the rest of this homestand.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, I like that, Eric. I mean, honestly, if you don't mind, I think they could get that 6 seed. I'm looking at it now. It's like the Suns are the 7, the Rockets are the 6, and the Lakers are the 5. And the Lakers, again, have a good record, but again, they, like the Thunder, had a great start to their schedule. I don't know if it was easy. I haven't seen the start of it, but like they had a really good, like I think they were 6-1, 7-1, something like that. They had a nice easy run in the beginning, but I think you could overmatch a team like that. I think the Rockets are a little bit better than the Warriors are, or a lot better, I should say. But they have health issues. I think the Suns have really shocked me. I don't know,
Huge surprise.
Like, did you see the game yesterday against the Knicks? They were like just defending a really high-powered offense over there, and the way Dylan Brooks is just getting inside people's heads. He talk about rivalries because what is it? Everyone they asked Curry if the Kings and the Warriors were rivalries. He's like, yeah, geographically. I think when it comes to like it's more players now. Like Dylan Brooks is more of a rivalry there than an actual team. But I mean, the Warriors just have to win the games they're supposed to win, and they just have to just get on a consistent basis. But their biggest issue right now in the next week, because Eric was talking about the next week up ahead. I think Portland's the one they got to worry about. Not even the Knicks. The Knicks are in a rut right now. Portland's the one you can't beat Portland.
They haven't. They haven't beaten this year. Yeah. When I think about the West right now, and this typically happens, first of all, who is this year's Indiana Pacers? What I mean by that, the Pacers a year ago at this time were sort of a sub-500 team and then went on that crazy run, went all the way to the NBA Finals. You see this you see it frequently. The Dallas Mavericks a couple of years ago, a 500 team, not very good, trade deadline. They get Gafford, they get P.J. Washington, they go to the NBA Finals. Is there somebody in the West that could be that surprise team? And when you look at it right now, I'm with you. I think the Lakers fade. I think the Lakers come back to the Golden State Warriors. I know the Suns have been one of the true stories, but I don't know how far as the energy and the hustle and the new attitude. At some point, you got to have athletes, and I don't think, aside from Devin Booker, they have many. I love Colin Gillespie. I love all those Gibson and all those guys, but I think when push comes to shove, they're going to settle back into a team that's going to be around 500. And for the Suns, that's improvement, and they're actually heading the right direction. Teams to keep an eye on, I think, are the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers are a team that could be trading places with the other team in Los Angeles, that being the Lakers. The Clippers in the second half of the season, I don't know if they're going to be the Pacers of a year ago, but watch the Clippers. What it is that they did, I know that was a frustrating loss for the Warriors. You had single-digit in turnovers and you lose, and you miss all those open shots. But the Clippers are a team, they've won 8 out of their last 10. Kawhi's now being Kawhi. He's going for like 40, 45 in a couple of evenings. They still have some boys over there. And much like that, I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to surprise people in the East. So when I look at the West, I think there's going to be some teams that are going to sink like a stone, and I think the Lakers are a strong, strong candidate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the Grizzlies. They're 16-22 at the 10 spot. So, yeah, they could definitely fall away, especially if they trade Ja Morant, which it's now the books are open on Ja Morant. Speaking of, do you think that the Warriors should go after a Ja Morant?
No.
I know we were talking that's kind of was a conversation about a month ago, and it seems like you don't want to talk about it, but I mean, you need a shooter. And if the Warriors are interested, I don't think they have the juice for it, would be my thing. But I mean, you would have to give up probably a Draymond or maybe a Butler, but I don't know if the money would match.
Yeah, the money's got to match, and then you're giving up some unprotected picks, not for Ja. And the reason is that Ja is not the same guy.
Yeah.
And I think
he's at his lowest.
You have to sort of watch him play where he was just a couple of years ago, if not as soon as last year, one of the most dynamic. We talk about athletes. When this guy wants to get to the rim, what it is that he would do in terms of contorting himself, throwing down on guys, and just getting to his spots. I mean, he was one of one. Remember, he was like sort of the future. He was Ant-Man.
Franchise. I still think he's a franchise player.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if I can go there anymore with him.
That's not where I wanted to go with it. I'm sorry to take you off that course, but like you asked about, like, where's the Pacers? I don't think there is a Pacers here. maybe the Warriors could be that sort of like, because they're like a diamond in the rough, although you have Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, Draymond Green. I get all that because they have solidified star power. The Pacers were kind of like, well, we have Halliburton, but he's not even like the premier guy. They just had a really good, they were kind of like the Pistons in 2004? Like there was no like superstar on the team. So you're looking at all these, the Thunder, again, they're the champs. No one's going to say they're the Pacers. The Spurs might be, but they've been over exceedingly well. Like they've been playing at a high clip, and they can beat the Thunder.
Well, they wouldn't qualify because
they wouldn't exactly. Yeah. But I'm saying like Denver, we've already crowned. They've been champs. Minnesota, I think
Denver, by the way, playing well without the Joker.
Yeah. And then Minnesota, like we're like, well, is this the year they finally get over the hump? Is this the year Ant-Man finally takes over? We haven't seen that. I don't want to say they're a Pacer-like team. The Lakers we think are going to fall off. The Rockets are an interesting team, but they have Kevin Durant. You know, you have Thompson. You know, you got Şengün, your boy, who you've been pining for the last couple of years. But I don't really see maybe the Suns, but yeah, I don't see a Pacer-like team to kind of run in and overtake and get into the finals.
You know, you mentioned the Los Angeles Lakers. If you ever listen to me, I'm not a J.J. Redick guy. He's too pretty, went to Duke. Enough said.
I'm not saying that because I'm inexperienced.
Yes.
And he also went after our guy, Lucas. Like, I think he was really rude with Lucas.
That's right, because he was like, because he called him and he's like, how did you get this number?
So I'm just out on it.
Sorry.
All for superficial reasons. But I must admit, the way he coaches,
you like that style?
I kind of do.
See, I don't know if it works.
Kind of do, man.
It's been working in terms of their record, but like, did you see when he was like, yeah, people don't care? It was like a couple of weeks ago. He's like, yeah, nobody cares. People don't care. He goes, Saturday's practice, I think they had a rough loss. Forgot who it was to. But he was like, yeah, Saturday's practice is going to be tough. We're really going to get into it.
He's kind of old school, man. I can appreciate that. But do you think
that like LeBron, like he's not talking to LeBron?
I don't know.
He's not talking to him.
I think he's like indirectly like sort of like, I think that he's such a hothead that I think he's ready to pop on LeBron. I think it's going to get.
You think? I don't know.
I mean, maybe not, but I'm surprised because look at what do coaches do these days, right? And I get it. This is the way you have to coach. It's a players' league.
Right.
Like the days of Phil Jackson, the days of where the coach, when he walks into the room, his is the last word and you do what it is that he says. Today, if you're going to get in a player's face, the player will just go to management and say, get this dude out of here. I make more money than him.
Where do you think Steve Kerr falls in that category?
I think Steve Kerr has become a guy that now coddles today's player, and he's good. And Steve Kerr will tell you that you have to build relationships in order to win. The idea of coaching like Bobby Knight just simply doesn't work in 2025.
So,
right?
but, no, I'm not saying I don't think he's doing that, but him and Draymond got at it.
Yeah, and I think there's a part, but Steve Kerr, if you'll notice immediately afterwards, was very apologetic. Like, I shouldn't be doing that.
That's the
but
flip-flop.
I would like to see I would like to see a little bit more of that as Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that the reason why the turnovers have bothered this team and have plagued this team over the last couple of years, it's not because of Steph Curry's one-handed passes. It's not because of Draymond is turning it over at a high clip, which he is, or anybody else. It's because Steve Kerr has allowed this culture. And all of a sudden it blew up. As you mentioned, I think that face-to-face, that mano-a-mano, that ugly incident was predicated and based on turnovers. And I think that was the impetus of them actually addressing turnovers. And it took that moment where, that reminds me of
I got something to say about that too. Because Kirk talked about the turnovers.
There's that old story. What was that? Somebody was like this. He was an old gangster back in the day, and he was driving because he couldn't get a job, and he's driving an ice cream truck, and he liked to race cars. And he gets his ice cream truck up to like 65 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden he has to stop because a 10-year-old's waving a $1 bill. That's how I feel.
Was it Al Capone?
When Pasta, like, I'm just going on a rant, and then Pasta's waving, and we got to go to a break. But no, I do want to continue on Steve Kerr and just sort of, compare and contrast him to J.J. Redick. I can't believe I'm a J.J. Redick fan. What the hell's going on?
I have no idea.
All right, we'll be back. And wrap up Warriors this week right after this.
I bet you folks are glad to be done with your shopping. Hopefully, all your gifts went well. But there's one last store to visit, this time just for yourself. Your chance to get one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony TVs at a crazy low price. Where? At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. A great way to end the year. If you don't check out these deals at Video Only, you'll be sorry.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Hey, this is Willard and Dibs from 95.7 The Game with great news from Safeway. You can earn Safeway rewards with each purchase you make. Then use your rewards for discounts on groceries or up to 20 cents off per gallon in gas rewards at participating Chevron or Texaco stations, and up to $1 off per gallon at participating Safeway fuel stations.
Not a member? Register for an account with your phone number at checkout and start earning rewards today. I personally love shopping at Safeway and saving up to 20% on my purchases for you with personalized deals, meal plans that list the ingredients needed to make shopping easy, and pet perks. There's something for everyone, including a free item every month from some of my favorite brands.
If you sign up today, you can get $5 off your first purchase of $25. Restrictions and exclusions apply. Learn more at Safeway.com/4U. That's Safeway.com/FORU, as in the letter U. We will see you at Safeway soon.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
Boy, am I glad to be done with my holiday shopping.
Oh, I know.
And now I just want to relax.
Me too. Well, except there's one more store we should check out.
Oh, no way.
Because this week, we can get a Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at an incredible price.
Really? Where?
At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. They're really cutting deals.
Because the holidays are over?
Yep. So this is our chance to get what we wanted for Christmas.
Are the prices really that good?
Yes. For 7 days they are. And Video Only has those top-rated models we were thinking about all on sale.
All right. The best stuff cheap is worth a trip.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
This is Vanessa Deniston, senior attorney at the Dolan Law Firm.
The Dolan Law Firm handles a diverse line of cases from personal injury to employment law.
We're proud to say the Dolan Law Firm is just as diverse in our attorneys and staff. The Dolan Law Firm consistently achieves outstanding results with over $1 billion in verdicts and settlements.
The Dolan Law Firm, the best, most diverse personal injury and employment law firm we hope you'll never need.
Contact us at dolanlawfirm.com.
Boy, am I glad to be done with my holiday shopping.
Oh, I know.
And now I just want to relax.
Me too. Well, except there's one more store we should check out.
Oh, no way.
Because this week, we can get a Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at an incredible price.
Really? Where?
At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. They're really cutting deals.
Because the holidays are over?
Yep. So this is our chance to get what we wanted for Christmas.
Are the prices really that good?
Yes. For 7 days they are. And Video Only has those top-rated models we were thinking about all on sale.
All right. The best stuff cheap is worth a trip.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
At LensSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Yay! Ken Luttrell and Dan Avone for the last half hour to wrap up this week. A week in which the Golden State Warriors have resurfaced as a good team.
Yeah, they're all right. Beat someone good. It's the end of the show, so I'm going to start getting loud and obnoxious. I was too timid at the beginning. This is what you guys do all day. Schedule. This is nothing.
Give me some good news, damn it.
Yeah, the good news is they're finally starting to score more. 120 points in the last 11 games. To me, Dan, that is the biggest thing.
Yeah. We got the Hawks and the Blazers coming up.
You could beat the Hawks.
Yep.
You gotta beat the Blazers. I'm sorry.
Well, you talk about Pacer teams that could be the Pacers of a year ago.
I didn't want to say it, but Damian Lillard, just stay healthy, dude.
And Denny Avdia, man. The hell with Lillard.
Yeah.
Avdia is for real.
I'm just saying, because you need more than Avdia. He's been phenomenal. Dude, we dropped 41 his last game. It's phenomenal.
You going to see the Knickerbockers?
Oh, yeah.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. Want to come?
You have a ticket? No, I mean, not for me, but did you get tickets?
Maybe.
Or you just go?
Maybe.
Right on, man.
Maybe. We're in talks.
Right on.
Yeah, it depends. But
I think
they're going to lose. The Knicks are, I'm telling you right now, the Knicks are going to lose to the Warriors.
Is Hart still out?
He is. And he's a big reason why. He's a big reason why we're losing.
I spend a lot of time in New York. In New York, everybody gets on Josh Hart when he's healthy. He's like, he can't shoot threes. Oh, Hart. But Hart is so important to that team.
I got a buddy who's diehard Knicks fan. I mean, most of my friends are, right? But he hates Josh Hart. And it's funny because once he said that in our big group chat we got, Hart literally just taking over every game. I'm like, you need to reverse jinx this more often. But yeah, he's been out, and they've had somebody else, I forgot, who's been iffy. But yeah, their defense is horrendous. Horrendous.
Let's get out to Omar. Has been hanging through the break. He's in Lafayette and wants to talk about Jonathan Kuminga. Hey, Omar.
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? So I just wanted to make 2 points, right? I don't think the media really puts the feet to the fire of one Joe Lacob, this whole 2 timeline thing, and I think it's the crux of this whole Kuminga situation. Like, 2 things can equally be true, right? Kuminga's, he's talented, but without skills, the talent goes unused. And Joe Lacob's insistence and I think disparate sort of viewpoint on keeping this guy while you have Steph Curry playing at the level that he's still playing at 37 years old, that's why we find ourselves where we are. And so as a fan, I'm a Warriors fan first and foremost, but for us to sit and watch what we have, like an all-time generational talent, the likes of Steph Curry, and we're talking about a guy who cannot dribble in year 5. He can score, but it's empty calories. He has no spatial awareness. I don't care that he can't get on the floor because Steve Kerr knows more about basketball than any of us. I think he's seen the writing on the wall, and yet there's been this disagreement between the coaching staff, some of the basketball execs. We have Lacob thinking that he's some sort of personnel guru. And again, it's scary because we've all enjoyed 4 championships. Joe Lacob deserves plenty of accolades, and he's quick to get on the radio and puff his chest when things are good. Where is he right now?
Yeah, Omar, I want to ask, so you're willing to sacrifice, the offense and not playing JK or even trading him away and just running with whatever they have right now? Is that what you're saying? No. Please don't mistake what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is he should have been packaged a long time ago. But at this juncture, we all know that he's going somewhere, right? Oh, yeah, they absolutely can. And it comes down to Joe Lacob cannot hold on to this pipe dream that he's going to trade for Giannis, right? You have first-round picks that you've been hoarding. Go get yourself a wing. Go get yourself multiple wings and or, a rim-running big that can do, multiple things, not just rim run, but eat up 15 minutes so, we can save Dre for the last 10 or 15 minutes of an important game. But, yeah, MPJ, I mean, that to me is a fit. His value's gone up, though. His value's gone up.
Sure, but you know what? The Warriors have first-round picks to send out. And you have a Kings team that has coveted Kuminga for forever, for whatever reason. So you work something out, but you have to let go of picks at this point. They have misaligned, and they have really, really mishandled assets through and through. Go back to the Chris Paul trade. And again, my ultimate point is Joe Lacob needs to get out of the way. Sign the checks, put the people in place that make basketball decisions. And, the world is about nepotism. I know his sons work in the front office, but at the end of the day, he was the one that wanted to, shortchange Curry. We remember that, right? He was the one that allowed, Jerry West, the logo, to walk out the door. We remember that, right? Hubris and ego will kill this dynasty quicker than anything. And he is watching. We were watching a slow death of a dynasty because of somebody's hubris and ego. So I just think that there should be a bigger focus on Joe Lacob standing in the way of what needs to happen here. As great an owner as he has been, I don't want another Jerry Jones situation. Again, we have a multi-generational talent still playing at the top of his game. We have Batman and Robin. I mean, you look at the metrics. I don't want to get into metrics, but you look at all the numbers. Jimmy Butler's doing work. I mean, go get a third person.
Gotcha, Omar. Good job, man. Yeah, very well said. By the way, shout out Joe Lacob, turned 70 years of age today.
Happy
70 years
birthday.
young.
What do you think he wants for his birthday? You think he wants to
he wants Omar in his living room telling him what the hell to do. Omar popping out of a cake.
Omar made some – that's funny. Omar made some really great points, and I agree with him. He's there, but, again, it really depends on who you get back. I don't know if there's a wing out there, though.
It's interesting. He mentioned MPJ, Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. was in not a similar role because obviously he was instrumental in the championship won by that of the Denver Nuggets.
Much higher ceiling, too.
Well, but he was a guy that didn't fit in. The reason why he was traded is that the Nuggets, as well as their guy, the Joker, were like, you know what? He doesn't play defense. He doesn't fit into our system. He was relegated to a secondary role with Denver. Either he was like the number 3 behind, obviously, the Joker, Jamal Murray, and maybe Aaron Gordon, and then Michael Porter Jr. or Michael Porter Jr. He was usually like number 3 around there. And now he's in a place where he's the guy. He's in Brooklyn, and it's your world, bro. And so there could be a similar scenario with Jonathan Kuminga. I have no idea, but could you foresee where Jonathan Kuminga is sort of like MPJ, where he goes to a place and he doesn't have to be number 3 or 4 when he is playing in terms?
Well, wouldn't that be, I mean, I don't know what kind of system they run over there, but wouldn't that be almost counterproductive? If you're doing it wouldn't it be you're doing the same thing all over again? Like, because
no, I'm just saying
no, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying what Omar wants. He talked about MPJ. Could MPJ play in a Steve Kerr and Curry system? Because if he can, great. But the Nuggets just dumped a guy because he couldn't play in the system. Why would you want to trade for a guy who can't play in a system? Now, I don't know. Again, if they're different systems, fine. I feel like they, the way they run things, it could be similar, but I'm not too familiar with how the Nuggets do things. It looks like it's Jamal Murray.
How the Nuggets do things? They lose.
I mean, but they've also won a championship, and
Oh, no, I thought you were talking about Brooklyn. Sorry, Denver Nuggets. No, you're right. Sorry,
yeah.
Sorry.
But I'm saying, like, do you want to trade for a guy who couldn't work in a system? Now,
I got you.
That's what I mean.
All right, it's time to play. Are you still there, Mitch? Without further ado, let's get out to New Jersey and join our man Mitch. Mitch, what's the latest?
How's it going, Dan Carter? Thanks for taking my call. Happy and belated Healthy New Year to you both, family.
What's up, Mitch? Where in Jersey are you from, by the way?
Well, I was just going through my old stomping ground, FedEx. Boy, I wish I was still working. I go through 4 targets to get my grandson's formula. He has it with irons, got a bit of a sense of stump already. He's only 16 days old. Already giving me extra work. But I came through with 15 packages that clean out the stores. Kind of reminds me of the Seinfeld episode with Elaine's, birth control bit. Stock up in all the cases. Do you remember that? Seinfeld episode?
Mitch, like usual, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
I asked you.
Hey, Mitch, so I have a question. So let me, and I hope this isn't too personal. I shouldn't be going here, but if you can't find formula in 4 different targets, is breastfeeding out of the question here? And I can't believe that we're actually.
No, I did.
Where are we going?
Did. The first two I only got 1, but the last 2 I cleaned up.
Oh, how many did you get?
So it was good. 15.
Are you mixing the formula with like vodka or anything, or is this all for the kid?
No, I'm not going to do that to Jeremiah Mitchell. Not going to do it. No, he's got to eat right. Good habits, right? First of all, I'll make it quick. What are we doing winning some games? I thought we were going to tank. We should be playing JK. D'Anthony Melton, he's my Josh Naylor of the NBA, or Bo Bichette, who's still out there, by the way. And one more thing, why couldn't the Warriors gotten and Michael Porter Jr.? I think Denver fleeced the Nets, I think. But if he was on the trade market, we missed the boat on him and drafted him.
Once again, thank you very much. Are you still there, Mitch? Brought to you by Mitch. Have a great day, buddy. Love you.
Well done, Mitch. Everyone wants MPJ.
Well, he's 6'10"?
I mean, that's something that we didn't even talk about that. The Warriors need size. Obviously, getting a big would help that, but they need just, I don't know. I think
could I interest you on another 6'3" combo guard?
It's like, stop doing the same thing. Stop giving me the same product over and over and over again. Yeah, again with MPJ, you would be taking a risk. Plus, you would have to give up a lot for an MPJ because, again, his value has gone up. And that's why the Nets made the trade, because they're like, we know we're going to get value when we trade him, because they were going to keep him. And who did they give up? It's the guy that Grandy wanted, Johnson, who's doing supremely well.
Jalen Johnson?
No, not Jalen Johnson.
Cam.
Avery Johnson?
Cam Johnson. Sorry, yeah. Big wing.
Lyndon Johnson?
No, not that guy. Don't want him.
Randy.
But what Johnson?
So Cam Johnson.
Oh, Cam Johnson.
Yeah. So and that's kind of the guys that
Cam Johnson's been really underwhelming. I know he's hurt.
Has he?
We're talking about Cam Johnson with Denver.
I feel like he's been all right. Maybe.
He's been terrible.
Oh boy.
You want to get out to Marin? We don't go to the North Bay very often. I'm willing to bet, as we talk to Scott, joins us in Marin, that Scott shops at Whole Foods, has a hot tub, and drives a Beamer. Hey, Scott.
This is not 1980s, you know. Yeah.
How are you, buddy?
No, good, man. Hey, yeah, I was just going to rebut that guy who was ripping Lacob. I completely disagree. I mean, obviously the guy's the best owner in the league. The organization has proven to be so. And obviously he doesn't have much sway on what JK's doing, playing or not, does he? Because you don't see him playing. So I don't believe for a second Steve Kerr would stand for Lacob, tell him who to play and not to play. I don't believe that for a minute. So I don't think this meddling thing has any merit.
Well, with the optics though of like him sitting courtside with JK, at games and stuff like that, you don't think that?
Well, that was what during the WNBA season. That's a whole different ball. That's a whole.
Over the summer, right?
Yeah, but you don't see him. He does not dictate who Steve Kerr plays. I mean, that's obvious.
I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying what it looks optically, because it seems like him and JK and Lacob are, kind of on. It seems like they want to be on the same page, but clearly not the case with Kerr involved.
Well, from what I understand of the way they operate pretty much collectively as a group. I mean, Steve does make a decision on who plays or who doesn't. But if Joe Lacob was hell bent on having JK play and meddling and being Jerry Jones, he'd be playing.
I got you.
I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, and I don't believe Steve would stand for that. I mean, Lacob is a smart enough businessman to know he hires people for them to do their job. And so, the basketball people feel that JK shouldn't be playing right now. I mean, obviously they're not playing him because he's going to be leaving, and that's the other. Why didn't he play last night? Well, he's not going to. They don't want to get the guy injured if they're moving him, which is probably what they're doing. So, I mean, JK is responsible for not playing. Nobody else. It's his fault. His skills never improved enough. If he'd have just done what they asked him to do, you see, that's the problem. There's a disconnect between what he thinks he is, or can be, I guess, and what he actually is.
Scott, we got to let you get out on that note. It's a really good point, and I'm sort of with Scott. I think that, I think Joe Lacob he likes Jonathan Kuminga and would like to see Jonathan Kuminga play, but as a business guy, as a business tycoon, that this guy understands that he has to delegate. And one of the things he delegates is that Steve Kerr, those decisions are with you. As much as personally,
I don't think that he was meddling, and I'm not saying that. I just meant like,
Oh, here's another guy that thinks Lacob is an issue. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just meant to say that, like, Lacob and Kuminga have a good relationship.
No, there's no doubt.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Lacob does get involved, or nor he should, because then he'd be James Dolan.
Gene's in Oakland. Let's get these guys in before we get out of here, Pasta.
Hey, guys. So, actually, I'm going to agree with Omar about Lacob. I mean, from what I understand of Joe Lacob, his success derives from his ability to know what to invest in and who to invest in, and to step aside and let the people he chooses, take care of the day-to-day business. As far as I know, he's not a savant when it comes to basketball itself, but he's picked the right people in the past. But where we've gone wrong, I agree with Omar. I think is when he starts meddling. As I recall, at least as I heard, he meddled in the whole Wiseman, selection. That he had a major say in that, and we know what happened with that decision. I think that, as I recall, the Warriors were not really sold on Wiseman. Say a year before they selected him, they had serious questions about his defensive ability and so forth. And there have been other matters, and maybe nepotism is a bit of an issue too. So, to the extent that he can just let people do their jobs, as he's directed them to, and just stay out of the way, I think to the degree he can do that, then we can be successful.
Gene, good job. Yeah, you know how it is, Gene. It's so tough for these guys because their egos are so massive. Let's clean it up with AJ in Los Angeles. Get down to the Southland. Hey, AJ.
What's happening? What's going on? Hey, I'd like to disagree that all of these guys who I've heard so far in this segment. I think Lakers' biggest issue is empowering Steve Kerr with GM duties. The moment that Steve Kerr was able to take over basketball operations and determine the players that can be on this team, that was the downfall of this organization that I see. But I kind of want to lean into some players that I would like to see the Warriors go after. I think the Malik Monk thing may need to happen because that's what you're going to be able to get. You're not going to be able to get MPJ. And if you do try to go after a guy like that, he's not going to be happy. He's not going to be happy playing for Steve Kerr. And one thing that we've known, if we watch MPJ over time, when he's happy, he plays good basketball. When he's not happy, he looks atrocious. And that was a reflection of his last season with the Denver Nuggets. He wasn't happy. I've been watching this kid since he was 12 years old in the St. Louis area. He's been the same ever since. But one thing you want to watch for, he has back issues. And back issues can creep up at any time. Take it easy, fellas.
So does DeAnthony Melton. Good job, AJ. Yeah, you know what? Michael Porter's a very outspoken dude, too. And he's a guy, I don't know if you've heard his podcast. He's got things to say, man.
Too many people have too many podcasts at all the same time. But, yeah. What does he say?
He's just very outspoken. He's very confident. And so it's a little Draymond-esque. And if you get MPJ and he comes to your team, just keep in mind, which they do take into account, that personalities have to fit. It's not just your style of play, but you got to make sure that locker room's right. And he can be a guy. He can be a guy that's, and I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just saying he's a very confident person. Just check out some of his podcasts since he's arrived in Brooklyn. With good reason, man. He's having a huge season.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I looked up what the Warriors could do with Malik Monk, but I'm actually seeing something where it would be Golden State's getting Porter Jr., Sacramento would get Kuminga, and Monk would go to Brooklyn with draft capital and just salary filler from the Warriors. I mean, that's a possibility. Although I like Malik Monk, and to the caller's point, or your point rather, he's one of those guys who drives the lane and takes the easy bucket. He's not going to pass it off.
Malik Monk's a shooter. You're right.
And he's young enough, too. So you would be, it's
a great point. Malik Monk ain't passing on no damn layups.
But if you're saying, well, Malik Monk's going to help us get to another title, that's where you kind of have to,
Well, I think title talk should be removed from the equation.
Yeah.
Talk about playoffs, meaningful basketball, okay, doable.
Give him a stage.
Paul, so you want to, in the final 2 minutes here, tell us what happened to you and your idol, Jeff Pearlman? Jeff Pearlman, who, once again, New York Times bestseller, the host of the
He's had a long
Pressbox Chronicles.
Long leash on this show.
Yeah, he gets a lot of run as he should. He's great. He's my favorite sports writer, and I got tickets to see him live talk about sports. It's a night of sports with Jeff Pearlman. His Pressbox Chronicles show is going to go on a tour to different cities, and L.A. was one of them. So I got tickets for the L.A. one happening on Thursday night. Just going to do a day in L.A., then come back early the next morning. And after Dan wraps up the Christmas Eve segment with Jeff, I say, hey, Jeff, thanks for coming on, and I very much appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you on the 15th. And Jeff goes, wait, I canceled the tour. So I had already booked the hotel, and shout out Hilton, who does not do cancellations, or if they do not make it easy to cancel.
Did you get a credit?
I got a credit for the ticket, but the other day I got a credit. So I would have gone down there and not even known that this event was canceled. But I heard it from the horse's mouth, so now I feel a little bit better. But it's going to be fine because I'm planning on going to L.A., San Diego, taking some time. And
he's going to Ontario, California with his girlfriend.
Making a trip out of it in Ontario, California.
Isn't she a lucky gal?
Wow.
There's nothing better than Ontario, California.
So the event was next week. And when did you get when did he tell you? It was yesterday? Or
he told me on Christmas Eve that the event was canceled. But I don't think
that's enough time, right?
I did not get any alert or anything. I would have never known unless I showed up and just saw that it was canceled.
Do better, Pearlman. Do better.
See, I can't go there because I'm still kissing his butt because I think the guy's amazing.
He is.
If I had to pick between you and Pearlman, Pasta.
No, don't do that to him.
I'll go with
I'll bring
Pasta.
back like a signed item. Like, what
Even
do you want
though
signed?
I did a show with Dibs, and at one point he had to decide between me and Dibs, and he literally, Pasta literally said, I have to choose between you two. And guess what? He sided with Dibs.
I did not side with Dibs. You know where my loyalty stands.
And you're going, so no wine drinking. Was it worth it? You could have had a couple of glasses of Chardonnay by now.
I'm going to have a few libations later. Me and I think a couple of us, what do you call it? Carter's having a little thing. Carter Chickering.
Oh, tell Carter to go get some Cambio, which is very reasonably priced tequila.
Yeah. And I think Evan might be joining us too, but I again, nobody knows where that guy is or what he does.
What did you just do?
Yeah. We don't know what you do sometimes.
So Carter has a little get-together, and I'm excluded? When did this happen?
You can come. We're going to Monahan's.
When the hell did this happen?
Come to Monahan's.
The kahuna's on the outside looking in?
You've got a plane to catch.
All right. For my man, Ken Luttrell, Pasta, I love you. This is Dan Avone. Until next week on Warriors This Week. So long, everybody.
Boy, am I glad to be done with my holiday shopping.
Oh, I know.
And now I just want to relax.
Me too. Well, except there's one more store we should check out.
Oh, no way.
Because this week, we can get a Samsung, LG, or